Vitality. And look at that, Vitality starting on the attack, and we don't see a Glass starting off first. We've been seeing so much of that from Vitality.
Well, especially in Latin America, too. I mean, Glass is definitely not an unpopular operator right now, but he has seen, I want to say, less play. No, okay. He's definitively, statistically, seen less play than previous seasons because of the new attacking meta, but we've still seen him played quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, Vitality, they maybe play Glass a tad bit more than some other teams, but I'm not really surprised at all. I mean, this is, of course, the first match we're seeing them play for this season, and the new meta, they're going to need to make the changes that we've talked about. So, looks like we're going to have CCTV hold.
This, we have not seen this in ages. A lot of teams have just switched over to defending via Fountain and just completely let it go, it says CCTV.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to do a 75% hold on the top floor of Border, but it's just kind of a risk, and a lot of teams have opted to just not take that risk anymore. I mean, obviously, it's just a response to the current meta, and then an attempt to try and delay the rounds as long as possible. But it is, again, a risk. And bringing this Mute, definitely going to aid them in their endeavor. Mute, of course, has been played quite a lot more, one of our top played operators on defense for every single region. He offers a lot of counter-droning, but also, more importantly, I think, the anti-Lion, anti-Dokabi.
Yes, and that's very much the most important part. You want to leave your roamers or even your off-site players to just not have to worry about being detected by that E1D every single time they make a move to re-maneuver somewhere.
Yeah.
Spark just looking through here on B. The rest of the team is setting up. It's very interesting that they're bringing, of course, the Dokkaebi plus the Lion. We've seen that, we've been saying that Lion on his own is not really the strongest thing. It has to be accompanied with droning as well, and aggressive plays if you want to capitalize on the E1D.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think the thing that makes them universally useful is that there's always droning, right? The team is always trying to put forth the drone game that's going to counter the roamers or just the anchors or just call out the important information. Like this, for example, as Weebu uses the mark as a prompt to Ash charge underneath, he's not going to be able to get the kill. Renewals will come out on top, quite literally, as Bibu goes down.
Yeah, there we go. Great first frag here, and they take down the Ash. The aggressive plays from Bibu have been set down for just a bit, but Braid is right below, and it'll even open up the mirror window. That's Renewals. They'll get refrag. The Mute, of course, not really the most important fragger on the team. The jammers have already been sent out, and there is no Thatcher to be played on Vitality, but at least he was able to get one important part of the aggressive rush of Vitality.
Yeah, on the other side of things, Vitality just an Ash, I mean, that's not a huge loss either. Yep. So it's kind of... I mean, while Mute's not necessarily a fragger, I would argue once those Mute ooh, Crips through the smoke, expecting the push. Spark goes down, secretly gets one for himself, and Raphael, vaulting the window, will finally get CCTV control. But Digital Chaos have a one-man lead.
Now, Brid very low on HP here, has to fall back. Can't even afford to reset with how late they've been, and they lose the Lion, of course, and the Dokkaebi. So now it's left on Rafael to stay on his own. You usually don't want to rely on your Thermite to do the fragging, but in this case, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, the Fragmite's going to have to come out here for Raphael, especially... they're actually going to go for the reset. Now, this is dangerous. As you talked about earlier, Vitality have wasted quite a lot of time, and attempting to go for this reset is going to waste another 15-20 seconds, which means once Vitality goes for the final push, they're not going to have the opportunity to fight 2-on-3. It's going to come down to one player covering the other, effectively putting it into a 1-on-3.
Well, I see the setup here. The defense's Crips is just standing right behind that B-bomb site, and he's going to hear the players opening things up from Vitality. He can just stick back and going for the frag, and Snooken will aid him as well in this push. The fuser's going to be set, but you know what? Crips is ready for it, and he just peeks out, gets the final kill on Rafal, and that's a clean-cut defense. Even though we haven't been seeing too many holds on CCTV, I think that still surprised Vitality and helped DC in the win.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because what we saw there from Vitality, what caused them to lose that round is, I think, through and through the fact that they stalled out hard on that CCTV push. They tried a lot of different things to make the push work for them, like smoking, for example, the rotation in cafeteria, but ultimately Secretly's great game sense inside of offices allowed that to be nullified for the defense. So good read there from Digital Chaos, and more specifically again Secretly, but also on top of that, just we had two players who were allowed to play so aggressively in CCTV and never shut down. Where were the Lions? Where were the phone calls? What was happening there for Vitality to... I mean, I think to me, it just spells out them being a little bit greedy with their utility.
Yep, and also, maybe we can't even neglect this because we can't see exactly what happened back then, but it's very possible that the mute was a big part of it, allowing the Legion, for example, to move around in CCTV and go for the pick. I
mean, no matter what, it's still, you know, CCTV usually is something super easy to be able to push in this, especially in this meta. But, you know, all that aside, speculation aside, hindsight's 2020. Here we have the next round, and this is something interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. We usually don't see the spawn site being picked, I'll be honest. And the biggest reason is that with a hard destructor, you can pretty much go anywhere, and especially with Snooken going on the Thatcher here, Rafale's bandit batteries are not going to really affect them too much.
Yeah, so Digital Chaos has a very good lineup to counteract this hold, and I admire the bravery of Vitality, but I can't help but feel like it's going to work against them, considering it seems like DC has a good read on the hold and are starting to pick it apart piece by piece. First EE1D pops off, and as you can see, Customs control now well in hand of Digital.
Yeah, DC have just taken control. Reynolds in the back, we're just going to be checking through the main lobby. Nobody's going to be rotating around from the server room either. As secretly, you know what, he can take his time, just waiting until his teammates arrive as well to support him.
A very heavy emphasis being put on the top floor, as you can see, 3 roamers above for Vitality. But I don't think that's going to work out so great for them. I mean, it really comes down to if DC can find the holes in their ceiling and walk around them, because there's so many opportunities always, especially when you've got someone like a Buck who can soft destruct their way in and avoid those types of pre-made holds from above. We'll see if it works for Vitality, but it again, big gamble. Gambles on top of gambles here with the bomb site selection as well as just the setup in general.
I would agree with a lot of pressure being put on the top side if they were defending Workshop here, Vitality. However, with this sort of defense and the bathroom, it's not going to be that easy.
It's very scary, that's for sure. But it looks like DC is going to try and address it directly as they start moving their way up to the top of East Stairs as well as the East Balcony. They will try to counteract this active bandit. That is going to be Raphael, who has to hold fast, and he's going to choose instead to fall off as the Thatchers come out.
Wisely so. There's not really much that you know, you can do if you get too aggressive against him. He just sits back behind the mirror window and tries to send information to his teammates for a potential pick off of this. There you go.
Second EE1D, followed up by Candela's.
And with the Ying as well, there you go, as you say. And they won't rush them in. That's a bit of a waste now. All 3 Candelas have been used and didn't even go through, and that's not even the site that they're pushing in. And the bat is just going to escape. The diffuser is going to get spot below. 3 kills, though, coming in for Vitality, as there is the 4th one, and Bibu will clean all of Digital Chaos. Is that a fake?
That was a really weird round. So what just happened there, we were seeing the engagement upstairs, you know, spectating that, and all that utility being dropped into offices was just a distraction so that one player from Digital Chaos could maneuver his way into the bomb site where nobody from the defense was paying attention. In the end, it didn't work out for them, though, because they couldn't hold the post plant. As soon as Vitality was like, oh, we need to go, they certainly went and they cleaned up shop.
Mind games, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to Digital, but honestly, again, if you can't hold the post plant, that's not going to work out for you very well.
And surprisingly, even with this, with the bomb sites that were picked, Vitality will be able to take the win. And I think that gives them a lot more options later on for their other defensive rounds.
That's very worth noting is that they just won Teller's bathroom.
Yes.
Just
the mention of it.
That's not supposed to happen. We need to talk about how that just shouldn't happen. You know, it's a bomb site that is widely regarded as terrible. And there are so many teams that have tried to go to it and do something innovative, and it usually falls flat on its face. It is always worth recording when it doesn't. So congratulations, Vitality. Well done.
Well done. This is like seeing somebody hold Oregon Kitchen or Oregon Tower.
Something like that.
This is very similar to it. But
I mean, there's some decent kitchen strats on Oregon.
Yeah.
It can be done. Just why would you?
Exactly. You have much better options
Yeah.
in that case, that's for sure. But back in here, it's now Digital Chaos on the defense, and they're going for a bit of a standard defense in Workshop. They're not going to be too heavily invested at top. No, Reynolds is setting up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so very standard so far. Mute Jammers are going to be set in. Vitality,
Probably,
interestingly enough, not bringing a Thatcher.
Yeah, they haven't done that so far this match, which, as you say, very interesting. Kind of, well, it's outside of the meta, sure, to not bring a Thatcher right now, or an IQ. I mean, again, while IQ and Thatcher don't necessarily go hand in hand in terms of their functionality, they are both anti-utility.
Yep.
So that is something that they share. And there's none of that happening for Vitality. Not a single anti-utility operator exists on their lineup. They've instead opted for 2 hard destructors, a soft destructor, and just 2 disruption operators. I mean, they're not even bringing some of the more typical disruption operators. Dokabi instead of a Ying, for example, kind of an interesting selection from Vitality. But, I mean, it hasn't worked out for them yet. But there's still potential for it to work out. I mean, they do have the versatility of the double hard destructor, which can translate into soft destruction if used properly. And overall, if you're bursting at the perfect moment with the Dokabi Lion combination, it can work out pretty swell.
Well, you see all 3 players here. Red Groove playing as well in the back. Castle is one of the operators that is best used on Workshop because it protects your back, especially when you're setting up the bathroom in the back. And Bibu back again on his Ash. Already used one of the charges. And he's not going to use the second one to open up the door here because it just gives them some space to maneuver without being pushed by their opponents.
Sometimes those castle barricades can actually work just as well for the attackers as they can for the defenders, and I think that's something that a lot of people tend to forget. This castle barricade means that effectively Vitality has full control over tellers and don't need to worry about a bathroom push. They will have to, of course, potentially worry about a flank from open area or the east stairs. That is still very dangerous. Bibu setting up for a breach into the bathroom. Raphael going to maneuver over to the hard wall, but I believe there's a soft wall opened up next to where Raphael just was, narrowly dancing with death. That could have gone badly for Vitality.
And you see how Digital Chaos have opened up the floorboards below so they can just shoot through it into the bathroom. E1D will get popped here by our attackers, and they'll be able to spot up both side. Not going to react much to it. Of course, there are a lot of hard walls, but Bibu will land the first kill of the round on secretly eliminating the Legion. It gets obviously stronger by the time, but we're at 30 seconds, and that's pretty much a loss that you can go with if you're DC.
So, Vitality strapped for time with a 1-man advantage, and they will start their final push. A vault from Bibu will see positive results. Red Groove goes down, Raphael elsewhere gets Crips, and it's looking pretty good here for Vitality, but they need to plant now.
Oh my god!
Detected by the EE1D point blank with Brid, he will actually manage. What is just...
Reynolds!
What are you doing?
Take me out! Just take me out! Oh my...
That would... No. He got a little bit ahead of himself there, ladies and gentlemen. Renewals made a mistake. He is going to be kicking himself for that one for a long time to come.
Wait. Okay, correct me on this. Wasn't it Bibu as well that suicided into the thermite charge when they were attacking the basement?
It was Bibu. He was on IQ, Consulate, basement, garage being opened up, and Bibu ran straight into the thermite charge. So yes. Vitality have a tendency to stray towards the light of explosions a little too soon.
DC as well, apparently. So we're learning new things every day.
Yeah.
So Vitality back, and Bibu picking the Ela, an operator we haven't seen a ton of. NA has played it a bit, but Ela has been phased out.
Well, she hasn't
compared
been
to
phased
before.
out. Yeah, no.
Yes.
Compared to before, her pick rate is considerably lower. I mean, losing the impacts was probably the biggest nerf that she saw, but also just an outright nerf to the Gersmot and her gun really hindered her pick rate. That's for sure.
Now, Rafael back again on the Bandit. Spark will go for trademark here.
Renewals. I just... You know, I
just want to see the highlights.
It's one of those feel-bad moments where you're like, oh, I know everyone saw that. You know, the thing is that everyone does that sort of thing. We all make that exact, like, I've made that mistake before. Yeah. If you're trying to say that you've played, like, thousands of hours of Siege and you've never done that before, then I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
I've done that in Mira one too many times.
I mean, it's just a little bit of a mistime, you know? That's all it is. There's like a 1 second more before he pushed towards the C4, and he would have been fine.
Wasn't it also on Bank where we saw like an M67 grenade that was, you know, cooked up and then blew up in the face?
Are we talking about BC?
No, I think it was Secretly that also had it blow up in his face.
Oh, it could have. I mean, honestly,
that was a while ago.
Let's be frank. It's happened to a lot of people in Pro
No
League.
shame.
Like,
No
if
shame.
you guys have if you haven't been watching Pro League for very long, that sort of stuff does tend to happen quite a lot.
Unfortunately.
So we're not sure what's going on with that, but hopefully it'll start dying down as we move forward. It's not altering the game, and it's not affecting the players. So.
Yeah, so Reynolds here is setting up on the line. Of course, Crips are outside on the balcony, and so far Digital Chaos are taking their sweet time before they push in. They'll pop in the E1D. As they drone in, there's nobody seemingly rushing in, but they will get the information on at least the bandit that is set up behind the mirror window.
So both of these teams have been very slow on attack so far in this match. They just tend to wait a little bit longer than you would expect, and Vitality is a team that historically is well known for that. But Digital Chaos making that their trend now too, I suppose.
There we go. Flash is going to be set in. The bandit's ready. Rafal can just spray in. That is. I don't know.
Kill ever.
Yeah, I don't know what Crips is doing there. Bibu will make the CZ work, and Reynolds will go down as they set down their second charge here. The Thatcher will at least throw out his EMP and disable the bandit battery. Rafal will have to fall back for just a second, but Zephyr will get the kill on Secretly. Snooken jumping on into the offices as just Redgroove spraying in with the Ying and Zephyr with one more. What is happening to DC? They're just falling apart, and Redgroove all on his own left on the Ying will just have to go back up to the balcony. There's 5 players from Vitality alive. I don't think there's much that can be done here.
Yeah, Redgroove would have to have one of the best clutches in Pro League history to make this work. He's going to start things off with a nice headshot there, nice and crisp, onto Zephyr, the top of these stairs. But he's got 4 more to find, and Vitality are not throwing this round. They are taking it nice and slow, not trying to frag chase after losing Zephyr early. Vaulted through the window, Redgroove will make it in, but Raphael there to back up his teammate, and he will lock out the round. Vitality put themselves up 3-1, and I have to question, honestly, the plays there by Digital Chaos. Yeah, sprinting at a mirror window is ill-advised.
Yeah.
Just gonna outright say that. This is very, very clearly a bad idea.
It definitely had the time to set up Crossfire and go in with a thermite charge. They had an EMP as well.
Or maybe, you know, just try and flash them. As you could do that too. I think they had a Ying in that round. If not, they definitely had flashbangs.
They had the Ying. They could have thrown a Candela in the
There
back.
were options in general to you know, disrupt or disable the mirror window before trying to sprint into it. I mean, if nothing else, clear out the barbed wire before you commit to that sprint.
Yeah, or at least smoke the mirror window. They were playing a Ying again. They could have very easily at least.
Lots of choices there for DC. A little bit of a miscommunication, possibly a lack of coordination overall on what the intent was in disabling the mirror window, but they need to have a clear idea on how to do it before they start the round, because that mirror window is so common. Now, on that note of disabling mirror windows, as you can see, Vitality have brought a Twitch on Zephyr, which an operator that has fallen out of favor in most recent times, which is kind of interesting considering how much mirror is played.
Yeah, Latin America has been the only region that we saw yesterday has been picking Twitch almost consistently compared to what they were before as well. But the rest of the regions, they kind of just stepped off of it. They're like, what do we even need to care about it? We'll just bring a Thatcher, we'll bring a Habana, and then we can just take it out and not need to worry about it. Twitch drone needing to be a bit more technical, maneuver around it, you know, always get the shots, but Twitch is a very good fragger as well, and you cannot neglect that.
No, I remember when Twitch only had 1 drone, and it was considerably worse than the one that we have right now. And people still played her. Also, there were less electronics. There wasn't even mirror windows back in the day, but people still played her because she was so good at fragging.
Yes.
Now, of course, that was back in the dark ages of Siege, where people didn't really know what they were doing. But it was still something, a factor you need to consider when analyzing, you know, these players who have been around for that long. Actually, I'm pretty sure almost every one of these players has been playing since the beginning. These are all very old. Not in the age sense, but like in terms of Siege players, they've been around.
Yeah, they are very much veterans of Pro League and veterans of Siege in general.
Yep.
And Rafal will pop his thermite charge, and he'll open up the sidewall. Of course, the Twitch is still in the back, trying to drone in and maybe find an opening on a mirror window. Zephyr will just open up the side window here, or the side door on the office. I'll just be moving in here. There are some open lines, and not sure how much time and effort they should be dedicating to taking down this mirror window from CCTV, because this gives them so much information.
Yeah, and we're seeing the same thing happen here to Vitality that's happened before in the past, whereby there's a 75% hold going on in CCTV, and the attack is simply stalling out because of it. You know, they're kind of spread out. They've got control over all the balconies, but they don't have a decided, you know, intent. They're not really sure what they're trying to accomplish here. It looks like they're going to be going for that office push, trying to get Raphael over to the B wall, but they need to actually make that push, and as Raphael starts inching his way over, looks like it's actually already been successful. And no bandit to trick this. There's a Jaeger inside of B. Raphael's going to be able to open this wall.
I'll see if they can get something off of it here as the entire wall is blown up.
So kind of interesting, there's no C4 below. We have 2 C4s on the defense, but none of them are underneath B.
That's a very good point, actually. You would maybe expect the mute to rotate down and fill that role.
Probably, yeah. Or maybe Red could drop through this small office drop down.
Yeah, very, very good point. But so far, I believe Digital Chaos is just okay with this. Bibu is just maybe setting up to rush in with the Ash, which would usually you'd be expecting. The E1D being popped, and Reynolds not really being able to move too much. Secretly will get taken down by from below, and the smoke will just hit at the doorway, which pretty much means
doesn't do anything.
Yeah, just Vitality can just go in and go for that defuse plan, and that's exactly what Brid is trying to do. He'll set up as Spark is still outside. Rafael will get the kill on Reynolds, and a quick rush in. Double kill coming in here for Digital Chaos. The diffuser has not been planted. Oh my god, they go in for the last second here on the plant. The Snooken goes in and gets the kill on Spark, and somehow Digital Chaos will be able to protect their bomb site. This, with the amount of openings that DC gave Vitality, this should not have happened.
So I guarantee you the exact thought process for DC in that round was, okay, Vitality as a team, take their attacks nice and slow. So all we need to do is wait for that final push in the last 20 seconds and hold fast then, retake then. And that's exactly what Digital Chaos did. You could see throughout that entire round, their whole mentality was delay, peel off, delay, peel off, delay, peeled off, don't take a direct fight, don't take a direct fight. Even the smoke canister, the first smoke canister, was just to deny Vitality the ability to push into the second bomb site. That's all their Digital's intention was. They were just trying to delay. And that strategy paid out fantastically for them in that round. The C4 managed to make downstairs and disabled the plant in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, and pretty much, as you said, you know, we're like, oh, why did he pop the smoke on himself? Well, usually when you go for a site, you always want to go a bit ahead of it as an attacker.
But you don't have to. You can. But Vitality tends to because they always do the burst attacks in the last 30 seconds.
Especially when, that's the thing, when you are going for those last 20 to 30 second attacks, you need a bit more than just a tiny beachhead.
Yeah.
And that's what was denied, and Vitality were just forced to stay inside, and they lost the time at the end.
The problem is, though, with that strategy from Vitality is they're attacking onto Archives, and as we discussed, the C4 from below can disable any spot in Archives. There's nowhere safe to plant in that site, especially when the drop's open, it's even harder. So, you know, if the mark of the C4 hits, then it's all over for the attacking team, essentially, in that kind of push. Now, of course, that does put it all on the C4 bearer, but you know, we've seen that exact round go different ways because C4s will miss.
Indeed, but Brit will get spotted in the mirror, no problem there. You see Crips moving in and triggering the customs.
This is a very early control in customs from DC. They are pedal to the metal here in this round, not wasting any time whatsoever, which is counter to what we've been seeing from both teams throughout the match so far. Very slow attacks. I'm guessing that despite having this early control, it's going to continue to taper down and slow after this initial aggression from the attack.
Yeah, very, very much so. And we see that happening, you know, in front of our eyes as we speak here.
Yeah.
Reynolds is set in open area. Now, usually you want to, I'm not sure about putting your lion there right now, but at least they have Crips to hold off on one of the angles. You see the mirror that's going to be set in here, Brit from Vitality. Crips will already open up the castle barricade that was set by the bathroom. It's not something that we saw Vitality doing when they were attacking on this side. They took their sweet time before doing that.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's going to be a kind of a swap of roles here in a sense. Two completely different players than the last time, and it's going to be Crip and Brid, but they will be just having a little bit of a standoff here. You can imagine that Crip's going to probably go for a similar play to what we saw Bibu do when he was in the same position, where you need to get control over that bathroom stall very, very swiftly. Here come the Candelas, though. Red Groove's actually going to be the one to commit to it. C4 detonates too early, and Red Groove will get the kill on a Brid. What a nice push there. Well-timed as well.
Yeah, perfect timing from Red Groove and the entirety of Digital Chaos. You see the Lion immediately went for the drone. As he was popping his E1D, it just gives him time to get more live information on anybody that might not be moving in the bathroom. You see Zephyr here setting up a tiny murder hole, but right now advantage definitely in Vitality in DC's side, as Vitality have lost the C4, they've lost the Mira, so that 1v1 fighting power has been reduced. And Snooken, if he only knew how close he was. First, both Candelas will miss.
Red Groove got to be kicking himself for that one, and he's going to be thinking about that moving forward in this match. But here comes another E1D. Spark will get Secretly, and Renewals will get Raphael. Site control well in hand of DC, but from the other side, Zephyr gets Renewals. And it looks like a denial here, but Red Groove quickly refrags. The last two defenders playing upstairs. They have control, but they don't have great angles to deny this diffuser plant, which is going down. Red Groove will get another one for himself. He's been having a great round so far. As Bibu goes down, it's just Spark in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, Spark all on his own has to tear down these castle barricades, and you know what? They hear exactly what he's doing as he just tries to move in through the central stairs into the lobby, and he's going to be probably spotted around the server entrance. Even the attackers don't really need to do anything against him. It's like, okay, you know, you have to come in, you have to do the work, and we just have to kill you as soon as you give us an opening, and Red Groove will get the final kill. I'm not sure if that was an ace, but that was at least a 4K at the end.
It was a 4K.
It was a 4K.
Yeah, because Renewals, I believe, was he pushed in his line and got a kill.
So, yes, actually, that's very true.
So an excellent round there from Red Groove and Renewals as well. So yeah, I mean, it mostly comes down to him being in the right place at the right time, right? We saw him, his utility game was, I don't want to say really bad in that round. He missed 2 Candelas, but the one that he did manage to hit essentially got him a kill. So overall, a well played round from Red Groove.
He might have missed the Candelas, but he still made with the flashy plays. But there we go. Thank you. Even production is saying that I'm funny. Like, this is all I need.
You're hilarious.
I'm hilarious. You can hire me for parties, by the way. But here we go. We're back on the defense workshop again for Digital Chaos, and it's Reynolds on the mute. Vitality going for the same setup on the attackers as we've seen before, and still opting out of the Thatcher. You
know, the interesting thing for me is that we're seeing continuously control over bathroom. That seems to be the focus for both teams on defense. As they want to force out that bathroom hold, but it's just not worked for either team so far. Like at all. Period. Both of them have been directly countered every time they try to put a castle in the bathroom or even a Mira. No matter who it is, it's just not working. So I'm hoping that DC has a different plan here, maybe like a Mira window, or there you go. So we got some prone level holes opened up in that bathroom wall, which means as soon as someone starts pushing the player who's actually in bathroom from defense, there will be assistance from these site players.
Yeah, you'd say that though, but DC did this exact same setup with the open hold
really?
when they were on the workshop.
Okay.
Now Vitality did not do it.
Right, of course, yeah.
It was completely open.
But it's just not it's just not working.
Yes,
though.
You need to time it as well to have the player looking at where he can support you. At least they set up an ADS inside a bathroom, so that might be something that they require.
I think the funny thing is that we didn't even have a Candela when Vitality successfully pushed that in.
No.
It was just Bibu vaulting over the wall. And that vault over the wall was very calculated too. He clearly saw the prone level holes and was like, okay, I need to be over this wall instantly when I go into the bathroom. And the thing about a 3-speed like Ashe is when you shift W up to that doorway, you turn right just a little bit, pretty much instantaneously you can vault the wall, which means anybody who's using those prone level holes is not going to be able to assist as you would expect them to be able to, because you're off the ground before you even pass the threshold of the door, really.
All right, well, so far it's been very tight between both of our teams, each playing to a different tune compared to the other, even though they might have been defending the same sites.
It's been kind of the same, kind of different. It's interesting because, I mean, their attacks, both teams have been really slow
Yes.
with their attacks, like always coming down to the last 30-40 seconds before they make the push, sometimes even 20 seconds. And like we talked about earlier, I think before the match even, Vitality is well known for this. Like that's a trait of theirs that they have had for a long time, and teams have actually been reading into it. And you saw Digital Chaos read into it earlier and play over it. Oh, from behind, Bibu's gonna open up the wall, which is gonna allow Zafir on that south door to get renewals. Nice coordination there for Vitality to get that kill. Excellent pinch. Now, secretly still alive in CCTV, but he is going to be alone.
Yeah, he's going to be alone and might just have to fall back by, you know, hey, chucking an extra goo mine and then falling back onto the site. Rafael will fall into one of these mines as well, as his position is detected, but this is very standard. Customs, we've seen both teams getting very aggressive on their take on Customs before, but not this time.
That castle barricade that's just been put there is actually going to aid Vitality more than it will aid Digital Chaos, because effectively it means that Vitality does not need to worry about a flank. Now, potentially, we could see Red Groove drop late in open area and then open that barricade with a... no, we can't. He's in the site. But, I mean, that could have been a play. It's not going to be a play. Bibu gets his second for the round. Secret, well, not his second. His coordinated second, if you count it that way, secretly goes down, and Digital Chaos now in a 3-on-5.
Yeah, Crips will set up in the workshop as the smokes will go out, and that is barely any time of the clock. That might have been a bit too slow. Crips just fires in. He can't do it. Spark will get 2. Now that diffuser will get set. He has the angle, but not on the second one, as now they'll just push into Snooken and get the last kill. Unfortunately, the workshop items being in the face of the smoke and unable to get the kill. If there was no time, that is, how do you cut this so close? The coordination must have been so high on the side of Vitality.
Well, I mean, again, that's just typical Vitality, right? What we just saw there is the description of Vitality's attacks. And Digital Chaos, you could see, again, they were trying, so hard to counteract that exact attack mentality by just waiting it out. But unfortunately for them, it doesn't work so well that way when you're dealing with a bottom floor bomb site. Because, okay, think about it. On a top floor bomb site, you can always not roam downstairs, use the drop downs in the site to rotate down downstairs late in the round and C4 from below.
Yeah.
But if you're defending ventilation workshop and you're playing people upstairs, what Vitality's going to do is they're going to clear that upstairs right off the bat. They saw they didn't need to, though. They pushed into the site, and it was an easy peasy take for them. That's what they're really good at. Digital Chaos needs to look at ways to counter Vitality on every playing field, not just time alone.
Maybe the earlier than need be rotation from the Legion might have been something that cost them the round at the end. You know, you mentioned the late round rotation. That was possible as well. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not even sure why Digital Chaos was putting such an emphasis on CCTV. Of all places upstairs, why CCTV?
You would expect Armory. But
yeah, well, I mean, more of an emphasis on Armory, sure. But, like, just in general, why do we need to hold CCTV? It ultimately just cost them players. But, I mean, obviously,
even in the
Digital Chaos, they had their own plan there, right? There had to be something. Just as when Spark places this C4 on that ceiling, he has a plan with it. He's going to be using his teammates' coordination to be able to get a kill with that C4, potentially.
Potentially. I want to see what level of coordination this will take. Of course, we see Bibu on the pulse, something that he has been known for.
We also have Spark, who, you know, himself with the cameras, so there's a lot of information gathering going on for Vitality. And as we could see, Digital Chaos pushing their way. Oh, there's the mark. That's exactly where the C4 is. Could it be a double kill?
Oh,
no,
he only gets one.
Renewals will walk away with full HP. You could see there, Vitality was waiting for the perfect opportunity, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you get one of them, that's an advantage early on.
Yeah, all it cost was one C4. I mean, taking down the Ash is pretty good. Taking down a Lion would have been huge.
It would have been nice to see them wait, to be honest, but they jumped the gun a little bit there on that trigger. Getting the Lion would have been extremely good, as you say. Second C4 detonates. That's going to be Bibu, but it's not going to hit anybody.
Yeah, there isn't much to play around with anymore. Bibu is very low on HP as well, and they will spot at least Rafael moving around here behind the main lobby door. He'll get, well, no shots actually on DC.
It's interesting that he went for that. He could have potentially gotten a kill there had he just been patient, but trying to get a little bit of damage early on, just not paying out for him. Snooken's going to be able to melee that door down eventually as a result.
Both Bibu and Zephyr are set up in the desk area here at Customs. And they're just trying to get any information. Reynolds, though, will equalize it, and he takes down Rafal, who is getting a bit too aggressive.
0 anchors right now for Vitality, and they also have an even man count. So kind of an interesting situation here. I'm not sure what the plan is, potentially going for a late retake into the site as the reset comes down upstairs. DC is pretty lit up, but so is Bibu.
So is Bibu. Now they have expended their C4s, but now it's up to Brid maybe that can save the day with his smoke canisters if they have not been used just yet.
I'm just guessing their strategy is late retake. Like, let the attackers have the site, let DC take it, and then Vitality will try to swoop in the last couple seconds. And speaking of last couple seconds,
that's pretty much it. 20 seconds now, and this is time for the push. Basically time to a T. See the rush in from Reynolds as he goes right inside as he pops the E1D. That gives him information as Hoonder's rotating. Brid will peek here from the supply room. Won't find anybody, but the diffuser will get set. Zephyr gets the kill on Snooken. That's not the end of the world. That's already more than what you need, and secretly is positioned, setting up in the server room. You can just catch anybody off guard rotating in.
So this post plant is very heavily in the favor of Digital Chaos, despite the fact that they're down a man. The one thing is that Bibu can call it out, though, so you're going to see this Thermite get pre-fired, undoubtedly, and here it comes. Zephyr gets that kill, secretly goes down. 2 versus 4 now. Ready for those runouts. Zephyr gets another one. It's all Red Groove in a 1v4. He gets one on the Spark, but cannot get another. Zephyr locks it out, and Vitality will win. Wait, do they have time? It's going to be pretty close, but I think they're going to be able to make it. Vitality going to be up 5-3. They will take map number 1 of Border, and Consulate will be our second map of this series.
Yep, 5-3 for Vitality. Very close. I mean, honestly, I was not expecting DC to play this well.
I want to talk about something right there. So remember that when DC tried to defend Workshop and Ventilation, and they just waited out the round. Clearly their mentality was, okay, Vitality's slow, let's just let them be slow. And it didn't work out for them. The reason it didn't work out for them is because of how predictable they were in their positions. But we just saw Vitality employ a very different strategy on defense of the same bomb site, and on the other side, DC were doing what Vitality does on attack, where they very slowly build up to their actual assault. But Vitality wasn't even near the site. They had one anchor, I believe, who got killed.
Yeah, there was the castle that died. Yeah, there was the Valkyrie in the bathroom, and that's it.
And then everybody else was way off-site, doing their own thing, waiting for the inevitable push. And as soon as that push came out, as soon as the diffuser had been planted, okay, let's start moving back into the site. So that was right there from Vitality, them countering their own playstyle on attack. Yeah, which is nice. I mean, that's cool to see that Vitality can read into that DC is doing similar things to them.
Yeah, and it's the back and forth between both the teams. Sure, they've been playing similar sites. We won't really talk too much about that bathroom round. That was.
I mean, there's not really much to say.
There's not really much to say. That was a fake. That
it was a good fake, but it was a red fake by Vitality. The thing is, the trait that I want to note most about Vitality is that they're very clearly just waiting for the right opportunities. They never get ahead of themselves. They're very calculated in the way they play, which is something that we do see in Pro League, but not as much as you would imagine.
Yeah, and Vitality especially. This team, having been together for so long, they haven't really been known for flashy plays or very new styles of playing. No, they've been playing pretty much a similar way that it's just gotten so good at it that so few teams can actually counter it.
Their flashiest player is Bibu, and he makes flashy plays, sure, but honestly, they're mostly just calculated.
Yep.
Now let's take a look at Consulate, a map that hasn't been played a whole lot this season so far, but is one of the more old-school common maps that we do see in Pro League. So overall, a very dynamic map, similar to Border, and we're probably going to see, honestly, I'm expecting a very similar outcome because of just that. Now, Vitality going to be bringing a Glaz early on, expecting a garage hold, and they are correct in that assumption, as that is where DC is going to attempt to hold.
Attackers need to locate.
Now we'll see how they set up for the attack. Now, when you don't have a Thatcher, and you know there's going to be a mute or a Bandit, in this case both, then you're going to have to take control of Piano, or that Thermite won't be doing much.
I mean, it's either going to be control of Piano, they're going to try and do the repel up thing, but that repel on the south windows, almost always gets whoever's repelling dead.
Yeah.
It's just, you throw away a player when you do it. And you could do it without Ash. You don't need an Ash to accomplish that. Just really shooting through the wall. You can find the hot spots. It's not difficult. But overall, it's not a risk that a lot of teams like to make anymore, especially not when, as you can see, DC are putting such a huge emphasis on that middle floor with these mirror window setup going into the bathroom.
Yeah, they definitely understand the only ways that Vitality can push through them, because Vitality have not been playing with a Thatcher pretty much at all.
Digital,
today.
I believe, are the ones who are favoring Thatcher.
Yes. Now with both operators, of course, with the mute, that you can put one mute jam or completely mutes or jams the entirety of the yellow stairs, so there's no worries there. Of course, bringing the IQ on Consulate is a very common thing because you worry about that combo with the Bandit and the mute. They can just deny and shut down all of your drones.
Well, the main thing with IQ, honestly, is just finding those cameras outside. You know, Consulate's probably one of the most common maps to have 3 Valk cams outside the building.
Well, Zeph here on the glass, going to be providing some support as he opens up here the main lobby. Nobody's in there waiting for him just yet, as at least the Mira is supposedly set up still in the bathroom. No, it's Reynolds that'll actually be sitting there, and Mira will fall back. That's Red Groove just downstairs by A-site.
You would imagine that it would make sense for the mute to be the one to play the position, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter who does it as long as the jammers are there.
Yeah, and having that open hole as well supports DC in this hold, because Red Groove can just shoot up whenever needed.
Yeah, which means that rotation hole by the mirror window can be forever covered by the mute. Now, of course, it's kind of dangerous, though. That, you know, that verticality means that you have a much smaller window of opportunity to get the kill if someone's pushing. So, like, if, for example, if Brid pushes in through the door, he just sprints in, it's possible that he won't be able to, Red Groove won't be able to react in time to get the kill. So first EE1D, I believe that is, just popped off. Bibu has been lit up over by the yellow stairs because of the gas canisters. He's going to go for a reset and drop himself down in just a minute. But still, that's a lot of time being wasted for Vitality, which they so very much value as a team.
Cool, nicely done here. Reynolds might have been looking for a run out, but the Habano is ready here. Brid, he'll get the shot, he'll take a bit of damage, but that's pretty much piano open. They don't even need to worry about the bathroom anymore. They can just hop on in.
Now, the thing is, do they know that they don't need to worry about any roamers in that middle floor? Because it doesn't look like anyone of Vitality are droning it out right now. They're focused primarily on that bottom floor. Now, there is also the Bandit who is rotated... No, excuse me, not the Bandit, rather. The Bibu on IQ has rotated over to the Soda Machine and is looking to counter the Bandit. That's what I was trying to say. And as he peeks around, he will get the kill. Secretly goes down. Bad coverage from Digital Chaos on these yellow stairs. And now Vitality looking pretty strong.
Yeah, very, very good start here for DC, for Vitality, excuse me there. Reynolds and Secretly both going down. Now, well, the walls are going to be opened up. Thermite doing the work. Crips will at least get one kill and Zephyr, but Rafael will set in a bit of an unusual plant spot by the stairs, but it works out perfectly here because this is not something that DC are expecting, but Snooken will get one. Low on HP though, pushing in, and Brid is the last man alive as Rafael has gone down to the floor. Brid will get one. There's 2 still alive. I believe
he's sticking it.
He's going for it. Red Groove sticking it. He's going for it. He's so close to it. No, he's so far away, and they will finally get this at the end. Snooken gets the kill, and the diffuser will get taken down. Red Groove realizing, okay, you know what? I'll run out, and you just stick behind the white van, and we can control the stairs.
The thing about that situation is, at your apex of the disabling of the diffuser, you're not visible to anyone playing on yellow stairs.
Yeah.
So in order to disable, or in order to get Red Groove, we would have had to see Brid vault the railing there, and that's of course not going to happen.
No,
because you've got one more teammate to cover him. So, wow.
Vitality,
well read there from Red Groove.
Vitality going in for an unusual plant spot, but it backfires on them. They did not have the manpower or the positioning to shut down a diffuser that was going for it.
I mean, it looked like it could have worked out pretty well considering they had such an advantage early on, but such a good retake from Digital Chaos, and that seems to be the name of the game here for both teams, retakes on defense.
And a lot of teams are very scared of retakes, which is why they try to like shut down any attack before it even happens.
But the whole concept behind a retake, which is leaving the site open and going in post-plant, works so well against teams that waste the round Well, not waste the round. We can't say that, because Vitality, they're just methodical. You know, they're careful.
They waste their opponent's time in the round.
Yeah, well, the defenders do that. But yeah, I mean, they spend a lot of time setting themselves up, I think is what I'm trying to say here. Like, Vitality, DC, they're both these teams. They tend to take a lot of time setting themselves up on attack. And against those teams, going for retakes like during the plan and post-plan, that's a really hard counter to their whole attack strategy.
All right, well, drones will be coming in from Digital Chaos, as this is a defense up in the console chambers. And admin has been a very strong, or is a very strong position that, you know, it's very important to take control of a lot of times, and either that or yellow stairs. That's why you see a mirror window that was set up in the side room by the kitchen. We'll see Reynolds peeking in. This can be a very complicated peak, because losing the line early on can be very costly.
This is very dangerous, what he's doing right here. Usually you'll see a Blackbeard commit to this push, or sorry, this peak. But he does have coverage from Red Groove, who's repelling on connector window as well, which is one of the ways to disable that balcony peak.
Reynolds will lose the drone, but it's not the end of the world. E1D will get popped here. He finds a bit of an angle on the mirror, but it's close. Relocates right at the last second here. Brid. They do have control of bathroom as well, so, and as well as hallway. That is a very nicely opened up wall, because they can just look right onto A from different angles and forces the attackers to take so much ground in the hallway.
And again, that Vitality opening up that wall is really telling of their strategy yet again, which is retake, retake, retake. You know, they don't want to hold the site. They have nobody in A. In fact, I believe they only have one person in B, which is typical for this map, let's be honest. That's kind of just the common setup. Really, what they're doing now is a very common anchor, but still, this is their whole plan. Coming up the Visa stairs is going to be Buck, but oh my, planting in the site, secretly going for it. Bibu gets a C4 onto him, though, disabling the diffuser plant. 3, though, for DC. What has just happened? And now, what looked like Vitality had the hold has swiftly went against them.
And Crips with a 3K so far in the round, looking for the first one, as Rafal is in the console office. He's trying to get an angle on where the planter was. The E1D will get popped. And Crips is just going to run in and get that final kill. No, Red Groove will take it away on the Ying. And they don't even, like, they just jump in with the Lion. They Candela it, they E1D'd, and they just pushed in the Thermite to go in for the diffuser plant. And they had the Buck holding off the stairs on the side. And they're like, okay, you want to push the Buck? He can win it up close. And that's exactly what Crips did.
That round was so counter to expectations that it broke my English.
Yeah, I mean, both of these rounds, it's like when both teams try to do something extremely, like, new or different, it kind of just fails.
Yeah. I mean, the thing for me is just Vitality tried to retake way too early.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the C4 disabled the diffuser, right? But then they started pushing into the angles that Digital were holding so well. I mean, they set themselves up perfectly to counter that retake. This is just, the level of counter-stratting coming out for both of these teams is just layer after layer after layer. It's really beautiful, because we started out with, okay, Vitality are very, very slow, so let's just hold in the site and wait. And then we got to, okay, well, that's not working out, because Vitality have read that we're doing that, realized that we're not roaming very heavily, and they are setting themselves up slowly, sure, but their actual takes are very efficient at dealing with our hold strategy, because they're aware of it. And then now we're shifting to, okay, both teams are trying to retake. But then after we shifted to both teams are trying to retake, now we've got, okay, well, in the attack, set yourself up to expect the retake, bait it out, and then get the kills once the retake comes in. So it's just...
It's a strat within a strat within a strat.
Yeah, that's what's going on here. With both teams, they're playing the same way.
And that's the beauty of this match, really, because if we're in map 2 and the second round within this map, we still have seen so much. I wonder what happens if we actually go to a map 3.
I mean, we honestly could. I think we could, because this is Digital Chaos. This is not Digital Chaos's map pick. Vitality picked Consulate. Digital picked Border, interestingly. But we're not. It's not uncommon for teams to lose on their map and win on the opponent's map. That's just. You know, it's like seasonal. It's a seasonal thing. Some seasons, it's you win on your own map, you lose on the opponent's map. The other seasons, it's the opposite. So it changes.
It's definitely not something to rely on all the time. But here we go.
It's honestly not even something to think about.
Yeah.
It's so random, it seems. Yeah. But what a nade for Bibu. Look at that.
Yeah, bounced off
The pillar?
Yeah, bounces off the pillar and then lands right into the side desk here, getting the first kill. That is Renewal's out of play on the mute.
So that's some really calculated play there from the IQ. Kind of unfortunate that we didn't see an ADS in that position. I mean, if you're going to play the position, you need an ADS, boy.
Usually you'd see even 2 ADSs that are set up here.
I mean, you don't need 2, but you need 1 at least, right?
You need
essential
something
to have 1. If you're not going to have 1, then it's just not a safe position to play because, oh, well, thanks, Bibu, for highlighting that.
Well, Rafal is going to move in here as Bibu is right in front. They're like, you know what? There's nobody in here. They've already rotated away.
Again, this is just that that mentality of, oh, they're slow in attack. Well, let's just peel off.
Yeah. That's the first layer of defense that has been peeled off. They lose, unfortunately, Reynolds in that engagement. But yet again, losing the mute, not the end of the world for the start.
No, not really. I mean, as long as he's got the jammers down, right? That's all that really matters. It's similar to Jaeger, in fact. You know, Jaeger, very useful operator, Mute, a very useful operator, but once they get their stuff down, they effectively just become fraggers. I mean, it's the same thing for Thermite and Habana, or really any placed utility operator. But for them, they don't get to do it in the prep phase.
Well, Zephyr is trying to find a close-up angle into A. There is nobody in there from what we can see, which is not usually something that you would expect.
Having anchors in A is super dangerous, especially against the way these two teams have been playing. I mean, it's just an angle game for both of them. Like, they have complete control. Vitality has complete control over A right now, so it's smart for Digital to not play in the site. But look at that, 20 seconds now, and here comes the push.
Yeah, at exactly 20 seconds, the ball starts rolling, and that is the Candelas that are going down, as well as the E1D. Zephyr holding off any rotations coming in from the bathroom or from Yellow Stairs, as Rafal will go in for the plant. Secretly, though, getting the kill, and we'll get the second one as well with the UMP. Grid will only get 1 for his own, and they both push the Habana, as Crips gets 1 more kill. Though, it's Spark and Bibu alive, and Bibu will make sure he lands the headshot. Secretly will refrag. He knows what the last position is of Bibu here, trying to get the information and position on him. That's the important part. Pulls out even the pistol to go to 1v1, but Bibu will clutch it, lands the headshot on Secretly, and cleans up Digital Chaos. Vitality put their first round on the board on our second map.
What a nice clutch there from Bibu, in the perfect position to do so. From the yellow stairs, no one on Digital Chaos was expecting that. And unfortunately for Digital, that Castle trying to go for the pistol, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
I think ill-advised in that situation. He had enough time. He could have gone in for a reload and potentially re-peeked into the IQ. But it, you know, again, you know, hindsight's 20/20. So
it's a nice try. It was
a good effort. Very good effort. Looks like we're going to be seeing a top floor again, or is that possibly a middle floor? Not yet. It's going to be middle floor from Vitality. Interesting. This is the first time we're seeing middle so far in this map.
Yep, and, an important part of this, and we will highlight here, Crips on 6-2, Bibu on 5-2. Nobody really from Vitality putting up the numbers, except for Bibu and Brit on top, but
can we see it again, Marcio? I didn't quite catch it.
There we go. Brid, second one on 4-3, 5-3 for Bibu.
Look, 3 donuts of Vitality.
Yeah, 3 donuts so far. And, you know, the thing is here, we always talk about it. So you want to hold the middle floor, the entry lobby.
Yeah.
You have to take control of the
top floor
console office, the entirety of the top floor, at least a couple rooms.
You don't have to, right? I mean, for both attack and defense, you can hold the middle floor, or like if you're trying to go for a take, or if you're trying to just hold the site overall, you can go with the bottom floor, or you can go with the top floor. It just depends on what the other team's doing, right? It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors type deal with these 3 floors, but in the middle floor, it's the most highlighted, because while you can influence the bottom floor from the top floor, it's a little bit more difficult. When you're talking about the middle floor, you can influence it easily from both, from anywhere else. Snukin gets a kill onto Brid. They're already in the site. He gets a second one onto Spark. What is happening here? The hold is falling apart. And as you can see, site control well in hand of Digital Chaos. Raphael will finally get a kill for Vitality, and a second one, in fact, but he has been swiftly dispatched by Secretly. 2 Vitality members left alive, and they're going to have to go for a retake from above. They are, of course, the roamers who are playing up top.
And Secretly will plant on A, so this might not be something that Vitality are expecting on this setup. Bibu and Zephyr will just rotate around here, and the E1D will get popped. This is exactly what you would be going for, because, you know, saving the Lion, that's...
I mean, the main thing for me is, like, this round seems almost over already because there was no anchoring going on from Vitality. Digital read that and simply walked in.
Yeah, and they walked in, they got the plant, and using the lion charge to their advantage.
Oh no!
He'll
What a read!
He'll drop him down, and Reynolds will get killed. Oh my god, that was pretty sweet, I have to say though. But still, 2 more to go for Vitality, and not much time left on the diffuser.
Oh,
You're
no.
watching the wrong angle here, Crip. He will go down, but there's still one alive. It's secretly. He gets one now. Trying to look for the other one. Nobody's dropping from the hatch. As I say that, he goes down and secretly turns around. 180s gets the headshot on Zephyr and secretly clutches the round for Digital Chaos.
Before that round even really got started, it was site control in favor of Digital. Like, the real meat of the round was in the last little bit there, but it seemed almost as if the attackers spawned in the bomb site. That's how it felt in that round.
Basically. It's like, oh, I guess we just get a head's advantage and we can just plant it immediately.
Their transition from outside spawn for the attack to in the site was seamless.
Uncontested.
That as well. I mean, as soon as they had that control, it was immediately frags, frags, frags for Digital Chaos, and that early advantage was what allowed them to carry out a victory in that round. Digital definitely wants that map number 3.
Yeah, and it's definitely getting close to it here as we are on our 5th round with 3-1 up for DC.
And just add another layer to the counter strat, the mid-match counter stratting going on in this match. The series has been really interesting because of that counter stratting, and it's just continuing to be highlighted. So thanks again for that, Digital Chaos, as well as I can't wait to see what Vitality is going to show us in the same department. I mean, they've already shown us a lot, but, you know, more, please.
This is definitely turning out to be one of my favorite matches so far in these first couple of weeks of
back and forth, yeah.
our season. Yeah, it's
we've had some one-sided matches this season so far.
Yes, here we actually see not only back and forth, but technical plays that are, you know, peeling away from each team. What do they have? What are you planning for this one? And this is what you have in mind with each round that starts up. It's like, what are you going to do in this?
Yeah,
because
there's a lot to analyze, a lot to talk about with these teams, and I really appreciate that, I just have to say.
An analyst's wet dream.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. So top of the, or rather, the yellow stairs door being opened up, that of course is going to be just a distraction, as Bibu, last time he wanted to disable the bandit who was playing on the garage door, he moved in through Z, which is this part you see being droned right now, and then came from the east side of yellow stairs to catch off the Digital Chaos, well, catch them off guard, rather.
You see the mirror window.
Could be a kill, actually, if he does it right.
He can definitely lob a frag grenade there. If
he doesn't even need to grenade him. If he just times the push properly, he could catch that mute off guard.
And needs the information as well from Spark. Doesn't even need it. He just peeks and gets the headshot.
As I was saying, I mean, you spot him, you see he's playing that angle, and you just time your push properly. It's a pretty easy kill if that player does not rotate. Honestly, that's on renewals for seeing the drone, shooting the drone, and then deciding not to adjust.
Crip's still roaming all the way up top. And you know what? They might need him very soon on the site here as Vitality are taking control of the entirety of the ground floor. And Bibu will spot out anything that is set up below, including, of course, the bandit batteries that were just getting taken down.
What a position here from Secretly. But the EE1D is going to prevent his initial flank, so he's going to have to wait a little bit. It shouldn't matter too much, though, as it doesn't seem like Vitality is paying attention to this potential flank from Z. He's taking it a little bit too slow, but here comes that actual push. Not going to see Bibu by the soda machine. Will get Brid, though. Exposes himself to the IQ and goes down, but still a somewhat successful flank as he managed to get the Habana.
The Habana, but she has opened up the hatches already, so that's most of the work that was set on Brid that's already done. However, you also kind of want to rely on your Habana that has the fragging potential at the end of the round.
There's also the mirror window that's still in that small office that could be very, very influential for Digital Chaos on this push.
Now we'll see the diffuser plan from Rafal as the smokes are a bit off. They should just get set up. They're not really expecting them to come in through there. Very standard.
What?
No!
Crips! No! No! Oh, what a misplay from Crips. And now Digital Chaos had a potential ace in the hole. It didn't work out. C4 from Red Group also misses. And Snookin trying to contest the 3 attackers who are positioned outside. This is sure to be a Vitality round. Red Group will get a kill. Nice shot there on Spark, but still.
He's got a lot of work to do. 2 more alive, and they know his spot. And he has to deal with the glass, and he gets it. Zephyr will go down. He has the angle on the diffuser, and now it forces both Bibu and Rafal to go in. And Bibu, from the yellow stairs, comes in. How do you 1v1 a DMR with a Vector? That is at that range.
Honestly, that's just a little bit embarrassing for whoever was on that glass. I actually didn't catch it.
Turns around, pop, here's the headshot. You're dead. What can you do now?
You're not supposed to lose those as a glass. But you know, nice shot.
That's the level of aim that we're looking at here. Not only we're not only talking about strategy and counter strategy, but even high levels of aim. Minus of course Crips that was on the Jaeger, ran into Bibu and kind of like derped there at the end.
That was a little bit hard. That was a little bit hard. So what happened there with Crips is he missed the melee, which is recoverable from. But in the middle of missing his melee, he was trying to drop shot at the same time. And when you drop shot, if you've ever done it in this game, you would know your sensitivity slows way, way down. And he couldn't recover from the sensitivity shift. That with plus the fact that Bibu was going upstairs, like directly up the stairs.
So he had it to flick even higher.
Yeah, such a huge shift. And Bibu's on a 3-speed too. I mean, there were so many factors working against him, but still, you should have just shot Bibu, man. Just use mouse 1 and mouse 2. Come on.
Yeah, just stop holding control all the time.
Yeah, I mean, overall though, good execution there from Vitality. Props to them, and we have a back and forth map of Consulate.
We'll see what happens in our 6th round as Vitality are back up on the defense, and Rafal will pick up an Echo here. We've seen Vitality, well, back when they were still playing under Supremacy 6 Invitational, pull out this Echo in spots, and especially Clubhouse, where nobody would be expecting them. And I think this is going to be the biggest part of their defense here, to shut down DC on the plant, because they know both teams have been taking a lot of time before they come in and go for it.
Yeah, the Echo is going to be very useful, that's for sure. Digital Chaos going to have to shut that down. They do have a Thatcher, which potentially will disable the Yokai for a good amount of time, but that doesn't happen as often as you would imagine. It would be better to have an IQ in this situation. However, overall, still a slow attack from Digital Chaos, which is playing into the Echo pick.
Very much so. I think Vitality have read perfectly into it, but Reynolds will get the entry frag here on Spark. He'll at least clean up the top floor. There's still one player on Spiral Staircase.
He's going to be droned out, though, there from Red Groove.
He's going to have to fall back.
Yeah. Smart play from Bibu to already expect to have to fall back, though, not risking it at all. You can see that Vitality are just trying to delay as long as they possibly can. Good angle here from Crips. He's going to be able to disable any of the bandit batteries that we have down on that garage wall.
Any of the
mute jammers
that are set up here secretly. There are none.
Yeah,
that have been set up.
There are no bandit batteries. Should there be bandit batteries? But no, it would have been the mute jammers. They have been disabled, though, regardless if they were there or not. Secretly will open up the wall. That's panel number 1. Nice and wide, ready for DC to start their push.
And you see Bibu has rotated all the way down. They have the buck as well, and they're just going to be opening up here in the antechamber. Not going to be finding anybody just yet. Well, so far, pretty standard from DC, in a good position, but I'm not sure how ready they are for the pick on the Echo for Vitality, but that's the second one. That's Zephyr taken out. The Echo Smoke combo that we've been talking about before, it's just been broken.
So much site disruption now no longer available. You can see Raphael is actually playing the back of white with his drone. It's a good position. He can call out the push. He can also disable the defuse plant once it happens in these last 30 seconds. And as you can see, the E1Ds, the smokes, the Candelas are starting to pop off. That means the push is committed to from DC. They have yellow stairs control as well as outside control as well as a sound.
Oh no!
Oh, the Yokai goes down instantly. Bibu will get a kill onto Snookin, starting his retake, and C4 goes to the front of white. It will get the defuse plant. Secretly is eliminated. The follow-up from the
are you kidding me,
Bibu? What are you doing? A pistol out now. Crips from above. The last attacker. He's coming down yellow.
Oh
and Bibu
my God!
Locks out the round. What a round from him. Vitality should have lost that through and through. It was a 5 versus 3, but Bibu just stepped up and said, no, sir, it is my round. We are putting it on to an even round count, 3-3.
Probably in French, but still, oh my God. This is one of the most valuable players in the entirety of Europe. and he's just allowed to frag and kill however many as he got at the end of this round. I'm not sure if it was a complete ace. Maybe we can flash that scoreboard for a second, Marcio. Go 15 to 3. We're on round 7. What?
What just happened, man?
Like 15, then 2, 4, 1, 1. Like just.
Bibu wants that win, bro. He wants that 2-0 win.
He's backpacking really hard.
Bibu's like, nah, we don't need a map number 3. Why would we want to go to map number 3? Oh, man. He's been having a really good match.
Yeah.
He clearly likes his Consulate.
Very much so. Definitely likes the IQ plays and even on the mute. You know, even when he does get shut down, he still, you know, somehow is able to channel that that energy to his team. Now, we've seen that before, actually. For example, Nesk being one of the players that, especially on Consulate, would shine.
I think Nesk had the best stats at the Invitational, like, overall.
So, yeah.
The most positive stats.
Some of the most positive stats that we've ever seen. And then
he didn't even make it amazingly far in the Invitational, but he had amazing stats.
That's the point to highlight, is that even if you do have that fragger, a lot of times it's just not enough. But when you kill this many people...
We're at 3 to 3, and Bibu has 15 frags. That means that actually means if you're talking about impact frags, he has won every single round in a sense because he's gotten effectively 3 whole rounds worth of opponents in a
in a span of 6.
Of course, that's not actually the case, right? But he's been doing pretty well. Yeah, in a span of 6, he's gotten enough kills to justify all of the wins.
Very, very much so. But we'll see here, Vitality setting up, going for Zephyr yet again, one of the best classes that you would like to have on your team, that's for sure. That is, you know, the golden ticket team, if you will, for Vitality. Digital Chaos, they'll be able to get that first kill, even picking up with the mute is able to pick up the glass here. This time it's not Red Groove, of course, it's Reynolds. That's a very good start for them. That's a lot of the long-range firepower being taken down.
Yeah, he was killed way out in the front of spawn. What was that shot? Look at Marcy's trying to highlight the angle, as you can see. He was all the way back there, as far as south as you can get on this map. And he lost that fight with the DMR. That's the second time we have seen him lose that fight with the DMR. Zephyr's having a pretty bad time on glass. So I'm assuming he was the glass who was outside on...
he usually is.
He usually is. He likes to play their glass. But Crip's going to eat a grenade, kind of ironically, as he's playing Jaeger. Bibu will get the kill as he pushes up the stairs, but Red Groove, the other performer in this map, will finally shut him down, not letting him get another great round.
Yes.
So that's good on Red Groove. He's
16 kills is enough.
Yeah, Red Groove's been doing pretty well for his team as well. Secretly gets Brid, so DC finally looking like they have a strong bid to win a round. Castle Barricade gets broken. Red Groove will get Raphael as he repels in. Spark the last attacker, and he's going to go for the repel on the east. Probably just going down to yellow stairs.
Yeah, pretty much. There's not much more that you can do in that. You know, you put yourself in yellow stairs and you're facing Red Groove with a Vector. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one here. They'll try to push in and... Secretly, what is going on?
With Spark too. Like that was a bit of both.
Yeah, that was kind of a derp on both sides. However, we still have Red Groove that is set up on the mirror right of a bathroom here. Spark trying to find an angle into the Consulate chamber, but the information has been relayed in for Red Groove, and Reynolds will send it home here with Reynolds as DC. They're back up. I mean, this is too back and forth for my heart.
As you can see here, despite having 16 kills, we are now on match point for DC. 16 kills just on Bibu specifically.
Yeah, and this highlights even more that team coordination is a lot more important than just fragging.
Because what we're seeing from Bibu, and let's just be honest for a second, what we're seeing from Bibu is he's just kind of doing his own thing, pushing in and getting kills.
Snorting Red Bull at this point.
And it's not really, it's working out kind of. I mean, of course, he did clutch out that last round, but overall, you need more than that. I mean, what was his idea there? Like, if you look at it really, pushing up yellow stairs like he did, it's kind of dumb. Like, that's a really bad play. He didn't drone into bathroom. He didn't see there was a mirror window to hold that yellow stairs push. And because of that push, you could see Vitality were committed to yellow. They followed up that push continuously, one after another, and they kept dying to Red Groove on this angle, which is being highlighted by Marcy right now. So a questionable decision from Bibu and a lot of vitality.
And the Thermite as well, that just jumps into the Consulate chamber and just dies.
Maybe a little bit of overconfidence riding the high of Bibu's clutch earlier. I'm not sure what was going on there overall for Vitality, but they need to get a little bit more calculated, bring it back just a little bit on the dial there, and start reevaluating these rounds, or just evaluating the rounds more thoroughly.
Digital Chaos, of course, 1 round away from possibly taking it to a map 3, something that we do not pull away. That'll be Kafe Dostoyevsky. We've been seeing quite a bit of it in our first couple weeks.
Yeah, I think Cafe's kind of seen a bit of a resurgence.
Yes, especially with a new way, well, an old way that has been readapted for a new meta to be played around with here. But
I mean, it plays into how these guys are playing too. Like on their defenses, it's the retakes. That's what we were talking about earlier. We've been seeing a lot of retake strategies on Kafe. It would work really well for these two teams. Honestly, I want to see map number 3. This is pretty exciting.
100% want to see that third map. I will see if Vitality can bring it 4-4 to take it to overtime.
That's another thing. I wouldn't be too upset if Bibu dropped like a 20 bomb.
Yes,
and managed to clutch this
that
out.
would already be extremely impressive. Maybe we can have both. Hey,
yeah,
you know, have your cake and eat it. I don't know why you would have cake and not eat it anyways. Like that's
it's just a saying.
It's just a saying.
It doesn't matter. But as you can see, in this round, it's been actually just about as slow as all the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, Vitality holding fast in the sites. They've got one anchor. That's Bibu. Underneath, he's got that C4, and he's going to be waiting for potential plant denial from down below. We also have a lot of emphasis being placed on the top floor. Crip's going to be coming into Visa, and he's going to have to confront Bibu at some point or another. Renewals, Red Groove doing their thing on the A balcony, on the connector window, along with Secretly, and it's going to be another A take, as is being clearly highlighted here.
Yeah, I like this position from Red Groove as well. Basically, he watches Reynolds' back as Reynolds does the same thing for him. Secretly will do as before, and will jump in for that Thermite plant. As Brit is ready, but no, Spark will get the first one on Crips to take him out, but Secretly will refrag on the Fragmite.
This is a great position here for Spark. He could single-handedly deny this. Zephyr elsewhere is going to get renewal, so good job for him as well. Slowing down this push, Secretly still in the sight, and Red Groove standing up for his team. And it's going to be Bibu coming up those Visa stairs to reinstitute this position in favor of defense.
As if you're going in for the 1v1, but Snookin is ready out on the balcony. Bibu low on HP and with already 16 frags on the board. Can he make it? He's got 3 more players to go for, but all perfect angles being set by Digital Chaos. They know exactly where he's at and how he's going to be maneuvering around here as he goes into the connector room. Highlights in, gets the kill on Red Groove. That is huge, but the diffuser will get planted, and now Snookin and Secretly will set up in post-plant spots. Now he knows one of them is going to be the balcony, and the second will be in the hallway, and that's Secretly going in for the kill on Bibu. And what an exciting match. Well, it's going to continue because we're going to get ourselves a treat. It's going to be Kafe Dostoyevsky, map number 3 in this series after a 5-3 win. Okay, I know the game's highlighting Secretly as the MVP, but okay, we can't not mention Bibu.
Yeah, what a performance from him. I believe 17.
17!
And then 12 for Secretly,
what?
7 for Red Groove. I mean, look at, but the thing is the highlight there. Look at DC's scoreboard. They are 1 kill apart from each of each other in the top 4. And then they have 1 player with 12 kills. But overall, that top 4, again, 7 and 6 kills. That's all that there is. That's the only deviation, I believe, that I just saw. So that's, again, we talked about it earlier. It's the coordination.
Yeah.
The teamwork is better than one person going and getting a bunch of frags.
Yes, and it clearly highlighted at the end where like Bibu is still last alive. He's got low HP.
Yeah,
and
see,
what can he do?
He wasn't doing that thing that you usually see where it's like, oh, you drone for kills and like he's the one in a position to get the frags. It was just Bibu doing his own thing and getting frags. And
this is game sense. This is when you put thousands upon thousands of hours in the game and you play it not only in top-tier rank play, but also in top-tier professional pro league play for 2+ years.
But you're
going to have reactions.
You're not supposed to fall back on that, though, is the problem. You know, like, when you get back to that level, that means the strategy level is failing you. And that's why they lost on Consulate. They seem to run out of cards up their sleeves. I mean, on Border, it was layer after layer after layer of strategy. On Consulate, we saw some deviation, some adaptation, but most of it on the side of Digital Chaos. Vitality struggling quite a lot.
Yeah, like relying on personal skill, we always mention this, it's unreliable. You can't always say, oh, well, he's going to clutch the round. That's not something you can put in your strategy book.
All you can say is, I've seen him win these and wish him luck.
Pretty much
and
so.
Call out information, of course. But, you know, the point here is, there needed to be a little bit of extra strategy there from Vitality. And of course, the reason there wasn't is, I guess they just don't like Consulate. They're not comfortable on that map. It seemed pretty clear as day. Either that or, I mean, Digital Chaos just has a better grasp on the map overall. So the third map and the final map for the series, Kafe, is going to be a little bit of a different story. It's very separate from Border and Consulate as a map in terms of how it's played. There's not as much room, like not even nearly as much room for the defense to maneuver, yet you still see some similar things happen, like that retake strategy on the middle floor. I mean, you come from the bottom floor, you go up after the plant or during the plant, but other than that, I mean, still, it's dangerous. You get locked into those kind of those tunnels of the staircases, not really tunnels, but you get what I'm saying, the bottlenecks, right?
Yeah, you have these power positions that are spread around the map. And I think the highlight here is Skylight with a glass, because we've seen how strong Zephyr can be with that. I
mean, you know, Zephyr playing on glass, he's actually been having a really bad day so
today,
far.
Yes.
Yeah, today he's been struggling quite a lot, but he's had some pretty fantastic rounds in the past. So we could see that highlighted or brought out on Kafe, or it could just be more of the same.
Yeah, I would expect a Thatcher finally being picked by Vitality here.
Thatcher's been great for Digital Chaos.
Yes.
Like, he's been so good.
It's been a big part of them because they can just counter all the bandit batteries and all the mute charges, and you're like, okay, well, all your utility is gone. As long as we can get a couple kills, everything that is hard destruction is just super easy to do for DC. But here, going into our third map, you kind of need it to combo with the IQ of Bibu, because then we've seen so many times where it's a defense at the bar, you'll see the IQ just scanning around and getting info.
The question is, who do you take off of their current role to put them on a Thatcher? Because it's not Bibu.
No, definitely
not. You do not take Bibu away from his 5.52, I believe it's called, and the grenades. You don't take him away from that. He is enjoying that right now. Let him go ahead and lean into it. But who else? Do you really want two anti-utility operators on your attacking side? I mean, I get it.
Yes.
I empathize with that ideal, but at the same time, it's such a risk because it means you're probably not going to have two hard destructors then. It means you're probably going to have to take one of your disruption operators off the board. I mean, who is it that you sacrifice? That's the real question.
Maybe it's time to actually, look at a different setup for the team here at Vitality, because
I agree with you. Maybe they need to mix things up.
It needs to be mixed up, because so far what they've been doing, it's just Bibu carrying the team and then the rest not really pulling their weight.
On Border,
it needs to be a change.
On Border, it was a totally different story. Yeah. And then we go over to Consulate, and it's just, as you say.
Well, we can talk about the theory of this forever, basically, with the amount of things that have been shown. But let's get into a third map, Kafe Dostoyevsky, between Vitality and Digital Chaos. What an exciting match.
Capital.
And Capital.
Right off the bat, a Capital from Digital Chaos. Maybe you don't see that every day.
Maybe because they were expecting Bar?
It's possible. I mean, see, the thing about Capital, and I think this is really what you were saying is expecting Bar, is that he is the only operator who can put a smoke on the actual Skylight. So when you drop from Skylight, there's a little gap between the smoke because it doesn't hit all the way to the ceiling, and anybody playing Cocktail can see you as you drop from Skylight if you just have those smoke grenades on the floor. If you have a Capital, you can bolt on the actual Skylight and nobody can see you drop. They'll just have the sound cue. So he can be really useful for that. But I don't know. I mean, they're not going to be attacking top floor, so it shouldn't matter.
Vitality will, of course, have some sort of defense that is set around the bar, but it's definitely just to burn time and maybe get a kill off of it, but then it is not the most important part of the defense.
Yeah, it doesn't merit use of smoke. But, yeah. I mean, you know what's kind of interesting? We don't see a lot of Capital because of the new meta, but also at the same time, he saw a buff to his gun.
Yeah.
So he's inarguably a better operator now than he was a couple seasons ago when we actually used to see him played. I mean, it's just changes in the meta, man. It's that lion being added, really. And again, like we were talking about earlier with Thatcher, I mean, who do you rotate out for a Capital, In this case, it was, I believe, just a Thatcher. So, interesting choice from Digital Chaos. You know what's kind of interesting? Look at that. The Swedish flag, the flag matches up with the score.
Yeah, very much so.
It's really attractive.
It's very nice, that is for sure.
It's a random observation.
Random tidbit.
I don't think we've seen that one before.
No, this is the first time we have a full Swedish lineup that's playing in Pro League for quite some time. Well, at least before having this sort of setup.
Yeah, in this exact color scheme. Crypt moving his way towards the reading doorway. You can see that there is Brid on the Mira waiting for this push.
Yeah, but he probably has set up a mirror window in the back to help out. There's a couple spots that you can have it to look into the reading room hallway here, but they're not able to get a frag onto him. A lot of damage done to Secretly, however. Zephyr will take just a bit there.
This is a really interesting attack strategy coming from DC right now. I mean, they're putting a lot of focus on pillars, which is not something you see every day, because usually you have to worry about someone on the defense flanking you from above, and they do have to worry about that. We've got Sparks above them right now, but they're covering that pretty adeptly.
Well, all of the Ash charges have been burned. Scripps just shooting through the walls, trying to find some sort of damage, some sort of kill. But Brit is still hunkering down. Bibu will get the first one for his team, and Brit will refrag as well, but Crips is ready for him. Unfortunately here, they got not as aggressive, not as quickly as needed. And Bibu and Zephyr will land a kill each, just using the open mirror window to their advantage. Now it is Snooken left on the 5-5-2 here with the IQ, jumps in, and you're like, I'm not going to be able to do much there. Vitality, perfect defense here. But I think it was just the mistake when DC were expecting a bar take and they went for the Capital, didn't have the technical operators to go for this kind of push.
I mean, operator selection aside, their strategy was really, I'm going to say, intriguing. It was different. Coming from just pillars, that so much emphasis on that middle floor early on is very dangerous. They also had someone repelling on the dining window that you saw die just at the end of the round there, but that was, I mean, that was just kind of beside the point. It really didn't matter in the end. And usually what you see on Kafe is you take the top floor and then you push downstairs, not what we just saw, not just pushing in through pillars.
Yeah, but they were definitely not ready for this sort of attack, and they definitely did not have the operator combo to work through with this. Now, had they have been, this attack would have been completely different, would have been a lot more emphasis on our top floor instead of just, as you say, pushing into pillar. And not only that, also pushing into reading room, where it's the most reinforced part and heavily guarded section of that entire floor.
Yeah, what's actually also interesting and worth noting is that Vitality, as you say, we're putting so much emphasis on that reading room, which is not exactly common. Usually the reading room is, I mean, you'll play a player there, but you could see that Vitality had one player in reading room and like two in a position to refrag on that player, as well as just support them. Plus, the guy who was playing reading room was very safe.
Yeah.
Not exposing himself at all.
The Mira just used this exact same spot here. Thank you very much, Marcio. And nobody can really push him away.
Having that rotation hole downstairs when defending upstairs as a defensive team means that you can effectively use any impact grenades or C4 that you have in your arsenal from downstairs once Vitality starts going for the inevitable plant in the bar area, because the way, I mean, where usually those plants go down towards bar is in pillars downstairs, or in that area in pillars downstairs, which is easy access because of that rotation hole.
Well, this is what we were expecting. Finally, Zephyr on his trademark Glaz has not really been having the best of days today.
No, but he'll pick, you know, he's still, that just means he has yet to pick it up. That's all it is.
And Bibu going off of his usual pick on the IQ to go for Zofia. And you've seen a lot of plays from Zofia, you know, being a side grade to Ash, if you will.
Kind of a side grade, really just a different thing. I mean, she always gets compared to Ash because she has the exact same functionality of Ash, and then a little bit more. But you can't really compare them because of their speed values. That's really the issue that makes them not exactly be identical or anything like that.
Imagine a 3-speed Zofia. That would be something.
Oh my gosh! Please.
Oh no, no!
Don't give him ideas, Filosh.
And somehow did not even get the kill on the player sitting on the side here by the minibar. And they'll give them just enough space, though. There you go. Reynolds will fall down. Bibu trying to get the angle on Secretly, but Secretly on the castle will come out up top, using the mirror window to transfer information over from his teammates. Rafael setting up in the cigar room as Brid here just walks right in front of the mirror window and is like, you know what? You can push me. I was supposed to have some support in the back, but you can't even shoot through this.
Yeah, Brid has been doing a good job of calling out information for his team, if nothing else. Bibu, the top fragger for the match so far, has already been... Well, he saw a pretty swift demise, let's be honest. And as Brid starts pushing his way up to those towards the white hallway, he's actually going to get lit up in the side. That's a pretty poor shield play there to allow such damage to come out. And now with the gas canisters being popped, that's going to force Brid to fall back even further. Red Groot has been detected through the... Oh, what? Red Groot, you're supposed to die there, man! Detected through the wall because of Spark's ability, but Spark still manages to lose the fight.
Look at the amount of utility that has been used up, but you know what? Digital Chaos realized we don't have to focus on the Monty. We can just focus on literally everybody else. Zephyr will get the kill on Secretly. He turns it into a 3v2, and now 2v2, but Zephyr and Brit are both low on HP as they're sniffing through that gas. But still, Crips and Snooken are alive. There's still one more canister, I believe, that can be used, but Zephyr just pulls out the PMM, goes in for the 1v1, and will win it out, leading a headshot on Snooken. Now Crips is alive. They're going to try to body block here with the Monty with a shield, but he goes in for the 1v1, and Brid will get the last kill. What was this round? Just back and forth within the round.
How did the Jaeger not get the... That was on 0-0-0, ladies and gentlemen. All Jaeger needed to do was shoot the glass in the butt once or twice, and that round was over. But somehow managed to miss it on a stationary target. And
he could have faked it.
The Monte, no, he didn't have time. The defuse plant had to be going down there. That was 0-0-0.
The Jaeger could have just went around, but then went right back around because he knows that the Monte has to go.
He didn't need to do that. He just needed to come around the corner and press mouse 1. That's the confusing part. What happened there? Just a little bit of a misplay. And fortunately for Vitality, unfortunately for Digital Chaos, that round will go in favor of the attack. Very well coordinated push there. And we were talking about Zephyr not stepping up. Talk about a round for him.
Yeah, very much so. And we saw Brid on the Monty. Digital Chaos fired a lot into him, and they expended a lot of their utility as well. The smoke had no canisters at the end, so I will correct myself, to throw them at the Monty, at his feet, or at the feet of the glass before they went in for the plant, and that's how he just got immediately eliminated, and even losing a 1v1 fight to the glass with a PMM.
Well, the PMM is one of the, I would say, one of the best pistols in the game. It's really
when you have an SMG-11 and a shotgun at like 2 meters.
I'm not saying it wasn't embarrassing for smoke. I'm saying that the PMM's a good gun.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a sidearm, yeah, PMM's a good one.
Take away that Gush 18. It's not gonna really work out too well.
It doesn't have a compensator anymore.
Yep.
You can't use it if it doesn't have a compensator, Milos.
That's how it works. 101.
What? A run out
peek.
from Zephyr. No, wait, not a run out. Just a melee in the bottom of that white garage. How does that work?
That's such a tiny angle.
No,
look at that.
On. You just look at it.
That's a prone. How do you even counter this?
No, you just look at it. You look at it. Come on, you have to check these things. I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't in ranked, but we're talking about Pro League right now. Third map of the series, you're checking all the potential spawn peaks. Come on. A little bit of mistake there from Snooken, and he's gonna go down. Good spawn peak though from Zephyr.
Yeah, it'll make taking down these Valcams from Spark a lot more difficult. Now there are obviously the ones that are set up in, they are set up in normal spots, but there is at least 1 or 2 of those 3 that will give so much information, and Spark can possibly just spray down through this wall and get the kill. No, he's watching the Ash. He knows
that's close
somewhere, but not exactly where he was shooting. Just trying to delay him by a lot of time for his teammates.
Yeah, Spark's doing a really good job here in this roam downstairs. The Fuser has been placed on that east balcony, just waiting for someone to come pick it up. Lion pushing in towards the Pulse, and Crips meanwhile, excuse me, will get Spark. A good flank there. Bibu gonna refrag though, secretly eliminated, and he's gonna try and maintain this control. Double headshot for Bibu, holding out in reading room. He's been having a great round so far, and he's looking to continue that as he potentially gets the 3rd onto Lion. Renewals goes down, and Bibu continuing his streak. Brid will get Red Groove as he goes in through the window, and that is a complete shutdown of the Digital Chaos attack.
Yeah, trying to swing in there from the window. Now, Bibu sitting in reading room. They were not expecting a second player to rotate into reading room, but he moved away from the steam room onto the train, rotating around into the hallway into reading room, and just sat down. And you see, once he got that first kill, he immediately remaneuvered. You look at that close angle that the Ash was forced to fight, that is not an angle that you can win easily at all, especially when you have a gun that is as controllable as the UMP.
So, remember how we were talking about Digital Chaos being more proficient on Consulate?
Yeah.
Well, Kafe seems to be Vitality's map.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Pretty through and through.
Very much so. This time, though, we'll see Digital Chaos going for, just fearing any shield play. They'll go for the Legion on Secretly.
I mean, even if there aren't any shields, Legion's still pretty useful.
Yes. I
mean, he's been seen in the top 5 of a couple different regions, I believe, and he's a very popular operator right now.
For a very good reason. Legion is just...
You got a laser beam. the traps, so much.
You got both. You got 2 impacts. You got a T5 that is just very easy to control. Goo mines.
You know, the impacts. That's probably why. That's probably the cherry on top.
Yes.
You know, what the thing is making him so useful in this meta, because of course, Ella lost her impacts, and as an operator, she's fallen out of favor. Lesion is the de facto replacement of Ella in this meta. That's exactly what it is. You know, I thought about it in every other factor, right? He replaces Ella with the traps, replaces Ella with the gun. You know, everything on that front in his favor. Of course, you know, you need those things that Ella used to give you that doesn't anymore. Well, not as effectively anyway. But it's really the impacts that turns it over the edge.
It's like, as you said, the cherry on top. It's a bonus on top of having all of these good parts of it. Like, both players now maybe trying to go for a quick peek. I'm not a big fan of laser sights all the time, especially when you're going for, you know, long-range plays, possibly.
This is a good read here from Spark. He's aware of Lesion in this position, but he's going to miss the shot, so it's not going to matter. And secretly will be down to half HP, but overall, still alive. That's all that really matters. As long as you're generating those goo mines, that's the important thing.
These forces the Lion to stay as far away as possible. Now, he can uses E1D wherever he wants to, but
oh, is he trying to mute trick right now? Renewals is trying to mute trick on this wall. Is it going to work out though, as he gets detected by the EE1D? No one from Vitality in a position to kill him, but as he starts rotating, he will be eliminated as Raphael peeks that cigar door.
Yeah, very well done here by Afal to land the first kill with the Thermite. As the instant that wall explodes, you'll see the kill coming out, and now they too take control of the cigar shop. As yet again, it's Brid that'll be pushing in. This time, he's got to face a Lesion, so it's all about setting up those traps correctly, but we might see Bibu throwing in the Thatcher. We're talking about who to put on the Thatcher for Vitality, and they're like, you know what? We can put Bibu away from the IQ and have him play that Thatcher role.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Is like, do we put Bibu on Thatcher or not? It's honestly, I got to question it, but at the same time, it seems to be working for them so far in this round.
I think with Bibu, you can put him on any role, and he will still excel with it. They're just going to be spraying into the bathroom. Just all bullets landing right next here. But Bibu and Rafal will get a kill each. That's Secretly and Red Groove out of play. And that's one more. Wow. Bibu getting the kill, even when he's not there. And that's Snooken all on his own now. Has to face the Monty. Zephyr will help out his Montagne friend. And that's Snooken out of play. Vitality are just demolishing DC.
Yeah. DC does not have a clue on Kafe. At least it seems that way. They're really struggling here. They're making a lot of major misplays, not checking basic things. Like, for example, coming up those stairs, not checking for the C4. I mean, what's going through your head there, Crips? I understand your team's dying, but that is one of the most common C4, or sorry, not C4, rather, Claymore spots that you see on Kafe, period. I think it's probably the most common Claymore spot.
Just set one on the stairs. That is literally the first thing you do as a Habana.
You can't, well, I think it was, I don't know if it was Habana. It doesn't really matter who it was on the attack. The Claymore was there, and he didn't check for it when he was coming for the retake, because, of course, Vitality's not going to watch that flank the whole round. You know, they're going to expect you to shoot the Claymore, but, you know, dying to it means that what could have been a potentially very fruitful flank just ended up falling flat on its face, doing nothing.
No.
Now, overall, there's so many other things to talk about there for Digital Chaos that were little points of their defense that really fell apart, but it does seem like Digital Chaos, so far in this map, it does seem like they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on Kafe. They're going to have to reevaluate and see what they can adapt on this map, because their current strategies, while interesting, are not working out for them. I mean, there's other things too. Like, remember the first round when they came in through pillars? Just pillars? I mean, you're opening yourself up to so many flanks, and those flanks did end up costing them that round. I mean,
that was one thing.
It was cool, but it was risky.
They rushed into the reading room, but then keep in mind, they were not taking control of any of the stairs. They could have been just somebody from the top floor and just completely destroyed them.
I don't know, man.
They're definitely leaving too many holes open. But as I say that, Red Groove will get the first kill here, and that's Brid. Rafal taking a lot of damage here.
Oh.
Grenade will land right next to him, but he's barely going to evade it.
It wasn't cooked. You got to cook the nade. Raphael gonna detonate the wall as you can see DC trying to move their way into the B bomb site. Red group gonna be rushing up to Raphael. Secretly will get that kill. 3 versus 5 as the rush out comes from the castle. He's not gonna see anyone on Repel. Spark is going to go for that retake. Bibu as well into the A site, but that's not where the attackers are planting. Snookin will get Bibu trying to come back in. Zephyr will be the last defender left alive as Crips eliminates Spark, and the diffuser has been planted. Here we go, Digital Chaos. This is what we want to see.
The rush into the dining room. Nobody was expecting it at all. I was this close to saying, just please don't plant on the hatch, because we've seen that before. It can ultimately ruin your round. But DC, they're like, you know what? We've been playing super passive every single round. Let's just turn up the dial to max.
And you know, I have to give major props to DC right now, because usually when a team finds themselves in match point 4-0, they will get discouraged, they will play slower, they will play less coordinated, and in that round, they did the exact opposite. So major applause for that, and please, an encore, if you will, in this round. Please,
very much so. So far, I mean, we've had 2 maps that are very close. Usually, you know, you just look at the round number and you're like, you know, was it close? Was it not at all?
I mean, some of these rounds have been close, but I think it does look like Vitality has control.
Yeah, on Kafe, 100%. You look at our previous maps, you look at the scoreline with 5-3, 5-3.
Yeah,
they were much closer than anybody could call it.
And we had a lot of clutches as well on both those maps. So either way, here we are now, and finally Digital Chaos has woken up. They have themselves on the board, and there is potential for them to start the comeback. I mean, that last round, the beauty of it cannot be understated as well, because their strategy was forcing their way into that dining hall, and they did it in spectacular fashion. I'm not exactly sure where Red Groove actually came from. Didn't get to see it on the spectator. It could have, I'm guessing it was probably from White Garage, or thank you, Marsu, for highlighting for me. I appreciate that. So it seems that the Red Groove came in from the pillars, as you can see from that east doorway, into Reading Room and rushed his way into the B-bomb site, which I think that's exactly what they needed, because they've been executing a similar strat in the past, and having the shield in front of the Blitz, allowing them to just outright force it, means that they didn't have to worry about the Reading Room player. I mean, that was the early frag that Red Groove managed to get. After that, they had players on each of the windows to both of the sites, which allowed for them to cover the retake that Vitality inevitably came out with.
Yeah.
So it was just frags for Digital.
Yeah, we saw the IQ standing in a similar spot to where Spark is here, just looking down into the stairs or any rotations from the lower hall. And Spark will go all the way up, and Vitality have taken, you know, their sweet time before they get into any spot here. As we hit the 2-minute mark, you see the E1D and the drones coming down.
As is per usual for Vitality. I mean, this is what we talked about it quite a lot through this match, but that really is their trademark.
Brid is in, and you see he's protecting the Thermite as well in the back, who opens up the side here of Piano Room. It's been very important for Vitality to put Bibu on the Thatcher role, as it has opened up so much for them. Zephyr even standing all the way away back in the park spawn. He's trying to find a pick off of this as his teammates are setting up to go and will take control here. C4 from below will not do much damage to Brid here, but Zephyr just trying to wait for maybe a rotation through the main hall.
Yeah, questionable detonation of that C4. Could have waited a little bit longer. Maybe was just trying to do it off timing, but I'm guessing there was some information gathering going on there. That just didn't work out. Raphael going to finally get this drop down open, and here comes the second EE1D. You can see he put that charge a little bit to the side of the drop down. That's because it will open the drop, as well as a good portion of that floor, allowing for more coverage from above.
Very smart. They do not have a buck, of course, so this is a bit extra layer.
Yeah, you need some more destruction as much as possible, really. Glass has been just chewing away at that dining wall throughout the round, just trying to cut off rotation in the main red hallway, in the middle of the map, really. And he has opened up a lot of those holes, but there's no one from DC who's been using it. I mean, 30 seconds now, and not a single kill for either team.
Yeah, Spark is going to push through the lower kitchen here. Is you know, pushing in with at least one shield bearer in the steamer would be fantastic, but positioning from DC is just trying to delay as long as possible. He's just going to be opening a bit of fire through the wall here, but the pistol cannot do much. Spark will get one, Rafael will get the second, and we're down to 5v3. Even damage done here with 2 kills in a row. Crips is last man alive, but there is no time remaining as they got the 1 kill that they needed, and that was Spark. Oh my god, as he went in for the plant, and you see the Thermite turning around, it's like, oh my god, no.
Digital Chaos fighting back, but while that was a good round for DC, not losing any players to the angles that Vitality were trying to open up, not getting ahead of themselves, simply waiting it out, going back to the basics that allowed them to win early rounds in the first 2 maps, it was mostly Vitality's fault that they lost that round. That was their round that they lost, you know, because you cannot, I mean, no control at all, pushing in with less than 20 seconds. The vault came out at, I think, second 18 from the Montaigne into the window, and he couldn't even get Red Groove, which he was right next to that Montaigne. The Montaigne didn't have enough time to push around and kill Red Groove. He had to try and go for the plant. And because of that, they lost the round. So now Digital Chaos, where they seemed like they were going to lose this map outright in a 4-0 spot, they only need 2 more rounds to make this go into overtime.
Oh well, at least Vitality here are back on the defense, and Bibu will be yet again back on the Ela. It's Brit as well on the Mira, Rafal on the Valk, of course, Spark on the trademark Bandit, and of course Zephyr on the Castle. Bibu setting up his Grzmot mine here to be very, very close up, and they're going to rely...
What mine?
Grzmot.
Okay.
Some of the Polish guys here have corrected me in the past, and are like, it's not Grzmot, it's Grzmot.
Well, they also said, or they also showed it was, how did you pronounce Zofia? It was
Zosha, yeah, but yeah, Zosha and Zofia are like a young...
Yeah, Zosha is a young Zofia, so like a sub-10, I guess, 10-year-old
yeah.
Zofia.
Pretty much.
So you know, there's different ways to say everything.
Zofia, yes.
Zofia?
Yes.
The production is telling us the proper way to say it is yes. Zofia.
We're trying to set up our Polish classes very soon, that's for sure.
Talk.
All right, well, let's see here the push from Renewals as he pops his first E1D, just helping out the team to clear out anybody that's on top. C4 is going to miss. Oh, no.
Yep. See, you know, both teams are really struggling with that particular C4. It's a very common one. And you're seeing it's just being baited out. Digital Chaos baiting it out. Vitality baited it out last round. I mean, but at the same time, you don't have to jump the gun on that. Just wait, you know? Hold it off. You know, maybe wait for them to push into piano and then C4 them when they're in piano, because that's a soft floor. You don't have to loop it. Zephyr, nice kill there from below. Red Groove goes down. That's a huge... He was standing on the table in
that
Pillars.
Angle, oh my god.
Yeah, it's actually a really common angle. Surprised Red Groove was not paying attention to that one as he dropped from the skylight. And that is a very influential player as well as operator now that Digital Chaos will not have for their push. Oh! Spots the head of the player inside of Laundry, but cannot get the kill. That's Spark as he falls back.
Will fall back in Crips. Still trying to find an angle, maybe somewhere into the reading room here as he has used his first charge to open up some of the floorboard. Bibu has fallen back and away from the back stairs, and now it's just setting up by the bar stairs. He's just eyeballing the hallway here for any, or the hall, just for any sort of retakes. But secretly, we'll get the kill on Zephyr, and that's the castle loss. Now, obviously, you losing the Ying is a lot more complicated than losing the castle here for Vitality, but Snooken is still set up outside and maybe trying to catch somebody on rotation, but Vitality, too smart, not going to move away.
Yeah, again, Castle's one of those operators. You get the utility down and, okay, that's it. Yeah, you're good. Good job. If you die, I mean, it's, you know, that sucks that you're down a man, but it's not quite as much as losing a Ying who has all of her Candelas and smokes early in the round. And speaking of early in the round, we're nowhere near that anymore. As the last 25 seconds pop out, Digital Chaos in match point, series point, will finally commit to this push as the EE1Ds detonate. Brid will be detected and eliminated. Bibu gets Crips on the push in, though. And you can see here, Vitality very much around that red hallway, secretly going to try and plant. Renewals will cover just that very same plant. Bibu gets eliminated, and from above,
oh no!
Not a great position. Raphael gets Renewals, and there's only one attacker left. That's secretly, he gets Raphael, though, and it's just Spark. He's going to have to drop, and you can see that secretly he's aware of this. Can he hit the shot, though, as he's been hit by a Grzmot? No! Spark will rotate into Train. This is so intense. Secretly gonna go for the reload on his secondary. Spark slowing down his roll, but oh, secretly clutches it out. Spark cannot get the kill. Digital Chaos keep this dream alive, and we're 1 round away from overtime.
This is a fantastic comeback so far, but I don't want to call it too early, Michael.
I don't either. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
Just
say anything.
Stop.
Bro.
3-4. There is still 1 more round that DC need to get. Now, our previous round was basically Digital Chaos learning from their mistakes. Even with Vitality able to go around and rotate back onto the top floor and try to find correct angles, take down DC, that have been too slow at doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like Digital Chaos has learned pretty quickly, but overall, the main thing that I'm seeing from Digital is they're just winning their fights now. It doesn't seem like they're executing. Okay, so that last round, what they did was top floor control, push into wheel room from the window on balcony, as well as red hall from the red stairs. But they also put a little bit of pressure into train, but overall, like, I mean, it wasn't exactly a fleshed out strategy or anything like that, right?
No.
The timing was also really poor.
Yeah, 19 seconds they were in.
Yeah, that was the push time, and it could have easily been a Vitality round, but they're just committing themselves to these engagements, one-on-one fights, one-on-two fights, whatever the case. They're committing themselves to the fight, and they're following through, and they're winning those fights, which is something they were not doing in the previous rounds.
Yeah, a couple of things to highlight, though. We have no Mira, first of all.
On this round, yeah.
Yes. Secondly, DC have completely reinforced everything. Now, obviously, with no Mira, this kind of makes a lot more sense. But we've seen the metagame evolve a bit on Kafe, where a lot of teams have just been opening up the bathroom, opening up in the stock room of the bar. This time, it is not the case. And I don't know how they're going to be able to treat this, because with Brit going on the Monty and then Zephyr as well on the glass, they can very much corner the defense inside as they go for plan.
Honestly, I gotta say, it's probably, again, going to come down to the fact that Digital Chaos will look for a fight, take a fight, and win a fight. I mean, that's what has won them 3 rounds in a row now. Castle Barricade on the top of that red stair is going to slow this down just a little bit, but not so much, as Zephyr is going to be able to open it up using his glass. Kind of a weird... I mean, why bring a castle when you know Zephyr is going to be playing glass? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird decision there. At least you can't break it. You know, I'm pretty sure you used to be able to break those glass castle barricades in like 3 shots with the glass.
Yeah,
at least it's now like 13, which is that's a nice little piece of convenience there.
You see Zephyr just eyeballing the inside there, trying to find somebody angling near the bar. It's a common angle as well from some of the defenders to try and find. And you see Snookin all the way in the back trying to find maybe some shot to go through or to the side of the Montaigne. But Kafe secretly with the Nitro cells and playing around with the Pulse can definitely set himself up. They were always expecting Brit to move into Piano Room, and I think that this time they'll do the same.
Yeah, they might actually go Piano this time. They don't see the holes that used to be open, so they might expect Piano to potentially be nice and clear. So secretly can get a good C4 here and put his team in a little bit of an advantage early on. That'd be fantastic for Digital Chaos. The Montaigne is the ideal target. Eliminate him, and there's quite a lot off. Ooh.
Yes! No! It's right next to him!
I'm pretty sure it's not a destructible floor. He went way too far forward.
Oh my god.
It's not on the destructible floor. He aimed his C4 really poorly. Like that is just secretly maybe not reading up on the spots that he can and cannot see for. That's a questionable decision there. Not a questionable decision, just lack of game or map knowledge.
Unfortunately there, who could have waited just a bit more, get some more information. And here it's Brit that will survive, and he has been a thorn in the side of his opponents of Digital Chaos. Though Bibu has taken control of Piano, and he's just moving around. And remember, the attackers will now be cornered, or the defenders will be cornered inside of the fridge. You see the EMPs being thrown, but there's barely any time on the clock. 18 seconds in, and this needs to come down. Though first kill will come in first secretly. They're getting very close for the second one, and he will get it. Red Groove out of nowhere gets one for his own. Bibu though will frag one. Brit will get the second as they drop one of the defenders on the floor, but they're wasting so much time. Snookin gets one. Brit will refrag. It's secretly last alive with no time remaining, and they'll tie it up. Digital Chaos are still alive, Michael.
What 4-4? What is going on in this match? 4 rounds in a row for Vitality, followed up by 4 rounds in a row from Digital Chaos, and overtime on the final map of this series. Neither team willing to give up, neither team willing to surrender. We're just going to see this continue.
Yeah, take me out of the oven. I am so done. This is like 4-4. As you say,
You're going to get overcooked at this point.
At this point, very much the case, because
the souffle will deflate.
how do they get this? Every single time, it's the last 20-second rush, and every single time it fails.
Yeah,
at least on Kafe.
I don't know what's going on here. The attack, we have to go back a little bit here. And
look at the frags from Vitality. There's nothing near that for DC. Only one player really putting up the numbers on the board.
Yeah.
And Vitality realizing, even with all the kills that we're able to get, DC are able to get the specific kills that they need to end the round prematurely.
It's Digital Chaos. What they're doing is they're just waiting out the round on defense and winning on time. And what and then on attack, Digital Chaos has been waiting out the round on attack, but then when they actually go for the push, they manage to make it work inexplicably. And Vitality, on the other hand, have started to struggle really with the concept of holding the site and denying the time outright the same way Digital has. And it's just I'm not sure what's happening. I mean, we haven't seen back and forth. This has been 4 rounds in a row for Vitality, followed up by 4 rounds in a row for Digital Chaos. It's just such a weird map.
No matter how this goes, honestly, we have had hell of a treat here. In our second EU play day, and
it seems like, you know what it is? It's rock, paper, scissors with the strategies and the timings. That's what's happening. Rock, paper, scissors. And it seems almost in the second half of Kafe that Vitality has ceased playing rock, paper, scissors and has just sort of started doing their own thing, and it's not working for them. They need to get back into the strategy, into the layered game, and start playing it the way they know they need to, or that they can. That has merited the 4-round wins in the first half.
Very much so.
But also on the same side of things, Digital Chaos has also given up on the rock, paper, scissors as well, as their strategy has just been chaos. Frags and
literally
chaos.
Digital Chaos.
Yeah, and what is... It's just weird. It's weird. First 2 maps, heavy strats, then Kafe, and it's just, I
think we broke kicks for this round with the analysis, because so far we do not compute. That is very much true.
It's been interesting. Let's just say it's been interesting.
Interesting, very much so.
First round of overtime, Digital Chaos. Their first half of this round has been, let's get on Repel East windows, let's get control of Skylight, and they're setting up for an attack strategy we have yet to see in this map. But a pretty common one overall, where they're going to try and go for an East take. Now, we have seen Repels on the East window, but never as committed as we're seeing here, where we have so many people focused on that East side.
Yeah, and there's a lot of commitment from Vitality in the reading room yet again, something that has netted them a lot of wins in, well, at least this map here early on.
Yeah, it's been pretty good for them so far, and I think it's going to continue to be good for them as, you know, having that pulse C4 from below can disable Cocktail if he simply just moves a little bit, and he can, you know, deny that plant pretty easily. I mean, overall, though, that Excaros has denied exactly what I was just talking about. The pulse will die if he goes for that retake, or from below, but it could still happen. You know, all it takes is Digital Chaos missing a shot.
Well, E1D will pop as we are at the 37-second mark. 3 kills coming in from Vitality as Sparkbrit and Zephyr will trade in. Zephyr gets a second one, and last man alive is Redgroove, and that's Zephyr that will land his headshot on Redgroove. Now we'll take him out. Vitality just completely demolished DC here, who, you know, they might have gotten a lot of oomph, a lot of, I don't know, a lot of push to try and finish this out in a comeback, but Vitality just said, you know what, this might be the time for us to stop you.
You know what I think it was?
What?
Digital Chaos went back to strategies, and those strategies haven't worked for them. Like actually executing a proper strat hasn't worked for them so far in this map. Every single time they went around, it's just, again, to come back onto their name, chaos. That is what has netted them wins, is just kind of pushing in, taking fights, winning fights. And you could see there, they said to themselves, okay, sigh of relief. We have gotten overtime. Let's go back a step and try and execute strategies. No, didn't work. No. So what I of course, Digital Chaos, they can't hear me, but what I would like for them to do is revert back to the chaos and just, you know, be crazy, take fights and win fights and get rounds off. You know, it's so weird to say that, but that's what's been working for them. Vitality seem ill-equipped to handle random pushes at random times and random fights that they can't expect. So, and when you come down to the strategy game, Vitality are, let's be honest, they're kind of unrivaled. They are a slow-going, strategy-based team, and they're one of the few that commit themselves so fully to that trade, to that craft. So, playing their game is ill-advised.
Very much ill-advised, and as you repeated and talked about it multiple times, seems like DC have been striving in the chaos, and Vitality have not been able to find a correct answer to those sorts of plays.
It's just on Digital to be able to commit themselves.
Yeah. We'll see if they can save it this time around because, well, one round separates Vitality from a victory here, a very hard-fought one, that's for sure. And DC still need to win 2 rounds in a row. And that's 1 defense and then 1 attack if they would like to take this W here on their first day of playing Pro League.
Yeah. Now Vitality going to be slowly pushing their way into the top red and piano as well. There aren't any players on the defense playing these positions as it is a middle floor defense.
The different thing here is that we don't have a Montaigne that has been working out so well for Vitality. Brid, of course, is on the Thatcher, Bibu being on the Buck. And we saw that role being reversed before and Brid staying on the Monty.
Now the Buck is a good decision here, I think, considering that we've got a defense of the bottom floor. It could have potentially not been so great if we saw DC go upstairs, but a good read from Vitality to expect this downstairs hold. Good camera as well from DC. Inside of Cigar is going to call out a lot of information for DC as a team. They're going to know that 3 attackers have pushed their way in upstairs. Renewals on this white staircase could be very influential.
He doesn't need to peek just yet, but you see the Buck will just open up the floorboard. That is pretty much...
Wow, I love big cams.
Yeah, this is so difficult to find these cameras because unless you go prone and try to actually find them, it's almost impossible. It can very much play in their timing here for the 2 Nitro cells that, or the 3 of them basically, that are set on DC.
Speaking of timing, only a minute left as we round the corner on those first 2. And now still a 5-on-5. So it is more of the same. It's the typical rounds we've been seeing played out. These attacks coming so slow. That is really the trademark of this match. It's both teams taking each other very seriously. And on that note, Renewals doing the opposite, pushing his way into Freezer. This is a very, very bold play, and I love it. We'll see if it works out for them, though. It's a dangerous one overall. As the EE1D pop secretly has been downed, and C4 will...
Oh, no! Renewals, what are you doing?
Spark will get one as well as Bibu finishes off Renewals. Vitality now in commanding lead in the final, possibly round of this map and series. Red Groove will get the first one for DC. Vitality, Raphael, what are you... What?
What is happening here? This is literal chaos. Bibu solo on HP, but it's Snook here that'll try to throw out the smoke to do a bit of damage into the trains. Can't find the angle, and he's low on himself. Crips will get the shot, and Red Groove will get the second. Still one more alive. That's Zephyr, and he's all the way along the outside here, holding any rotation. He's got no more E1Ds to play with. 2 stun grenades to try and go for a quick peek. He's going to peek 1 with the stun and maybe go for the shot, but there's already the diffuser happening. Snooken will get the kill, and DC will tie things up. 5-5 to go in our final round of overtime.
I give up. I give up.
How do you analyze this?
I give up. It's just mass chaos. It's not even the good kind, man. Like, we just saw Raphael.
How did the mute miss
just randomly shot his teammate. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Okay, die.
Face check, by the way.
I don't know what's going on, man. I have no idea. What is this? This is just... Okay, so to summarize that round, Digital Chaos went for the retake strategy. It worked out for them. Vitality, they did their very typical slow take. It didn't work out for them because retake strategy, and they didn't clear out the roamers. So that's it. That's the end of that story. I'm not going to talk about how Raphael shot his teammate and really opened that up for DC. We're not going to get into that.
Or also how Renewals on the mute was already in control of the backstairs, moves all the way back into the fridge.
Freezer.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Times it perfectly, actually, with the C4 to get the kill on the thermite. And then misses everything.
The Buck somehow comes out on top there. Bibu, I get Bibu's a good shot. Bibu's a really good shot.
But not like this.
But yeah, a 2-second advantage in favor of Renewals there, undoubtedly. And he
He had the Valcams to play with.
I don't know, dude.
All right. Let's try to put this aside as we go into.
This is definitely the last round.
100% the last round.
Through and through the last one. I mean, I think this is going to favor Vitality because they're on defense, and both teams in OT have won their defensive rounds. So this is going to probably be, I mean, if Vitality plays it right, it'll be their win, right? It's their round to lose. But I don't know, DC could do something spectacular. I hold out hope, you know?
Right now, either way it goes, we have 100% been treated to one hell of a game, and I highly recommend anybody that's, you know, whose friend was away doing something else to tell them to 100% rewatch this once the
It's been an entertaining game,
yes,
if nothing else.
If nothing, especially on our third map.
Yeah, yeah, the first two were kind of, you know, typical. Oh, this team personally likes this map a little bit more. And then Kafe, it's just like, what? What? All right, so first E1D, and Vitality holding on to this top floor. That's going to be Bibu in the bathroom. His position has been given away, though. He moves himself into Piano, and that's undoubtedly been called out for the attackers. Crips just missing these angles at the worst possible times, but he'll win the fight anyway. Bibu, one of the most influential players in this match, eliminated very swiftly. More importantly, that's the smoke. Now, that position being played solo as a smoke, you could really say that's not exactly the best strategy. C4 detonates downstairs, and it did not hit any of the Digital Chaos players. They have got to be feeling a commanding lead with top floor and utility man advantage.
Yeah, and keep in mind there was already one main camera and then two Valcams that were trying to assist the smoke who's roaming upstairs, and even that was not enough to time things correctly with the Ash. So definitely did not work out for Vitality, though Zephyr has opened up here the main doorway, and it's not going to find anybody.
Yeah, he's tried this a couple times. Doesn't seem like DC's keen on repelling on that south side, so Snookin is exposed right now, and he might go for a repel. It could work out for Zephyr. He's just got to time it perfectly.
Timing things perfectly have not been working out too well here, but he's going to run in. Here we go. He'll get the shots, and that is Snookin down on the floor. No more IQ as the attack sets up, and Digital Chaos will try to strive in this chaos. See the rush out, spray up through the wall. Rafal will go down, and now just spraying through into the dining hall. There's nobody in there, but they're going to flash one another. Red Groove is still up top to support his teammates, and the diffuser should be going down as Secretly gets to the kill. On Brid, 2 versus 4. There's still Sparks and Zephyr alive as Zephyr gets one. Tries to get the long haul angle here from the stairs into the pillar dining room. See the quick peek from Reynolds as he tries to find the rotation in, but the E1D goes in. Zephyr is going to try to go here for a quick peek on the diffuser, but no, he'll get one. Spark will get a frag of his own, but turns it into a 2v1. Now it's Secretly and Crips alive. Can they do this one here? Is this spray too much damage done to Spark? No, not just yet, and Secretly will land the final kill here as Zephyr goes up 14-5, but it's not even enough. Digital Chaos that'll take the win 2-1. In their first matchup in Pro League since forever, and their first matchup of this season. What a comeback from 4-0 up for Vitality to 4-4 into overtime, losing first round and then winning 2 in a row in a spectacular fashion for DC to take it home. Wow. That is the least you can say.
That match was just wow. And that last round, really well done for DC. Coming back to the basics, going for the top floor control. Huge misplays by Vitality, though. Bibu playing the top floor by himself as Smoke.